Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN on ESPN Wisconsin. Here's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and Brad Nortman.
It's KBN here on ESPN Wisconsin, and what a great day to be alive. Is that the way he says it?
He says it just like that, Kyle.
Yeah.
Just like it.
I tried to be very annoying in my voice so I can match the energy and the tone of Benjamin Brust. Benjamin Brust. Yes, and I am Kyle Wallace leading the show today because Ben Brust has a little, how would you say, you got a little tummy ache? Yeah, you got a little tummy ache. I'm sick. I don't feel too well.
Baby,
so he
take care of me.
Yeah, so he decided to go ahead and extend his weekend into Monday, and so I hope you feel better or, whatever you got to do. As a matter of fact, his fiance, never mind.
Uh-oh. Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, we'll leave that one alone. Well, anyway.
I want to just spell out what happened.
Okay.
Brad was talking on the air. Kyle was talking off the air.
I think I might have just confirmed what he put on the air.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to the wonderful future Brust family. We love you, and we hope that everybody feels better in that wonderful.
We love you, but we're about to make fun of you.
We are going to make fun of you, but before we do, Ben is out, but Bradley Nortman, the six-time or six-year or six-long career veteran punter in the NFL, former great punter of the Wisconsin Badgers. He is on the Mount Rushmore of specialists for Wisconsin Badgers. That is Bradley Nortman. How you doing today, Brad?
Boy, how about that introduction right there? I got to teach better a thing or two about how to introduce me. I'm doing pretty good. Had a great weekend. Excited to be back for KBN Nation. And, I was thinking about, this new change of music that we got coming in, and Ben has that Walking on Broken Glass song.
Yeah.
It just doesn't hit when he's not here.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's clearly the driver behind that song. And when he's not here, it's just like, okay, I guess we're just doing this. So, weird way to start the show, but here we are.
I agree. I feel like we should change the song, but I know he'll be highly upset if we change the song while he's gone. But I think as the producer of the show, Strofe, I really think you should use your creative thought process and your empowerment to make an executive decision on whether or not that song should last.
All right, here's the thing, Kyle. If I change it again, all you guys are going to do is complain. Just like you did the last time I changed it. I'm done touching the music on the show for a while.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Right.
Do you think it's a completed project? You think it's satisfactory?
Similarly to human beings, Brad, I don't believe there's ever such thing as a finished product.
Profound.
I believe that we all evolve. Similarly to our show and us, evolution is natural.
Wow. So you're never fully there, huh?
Never. No. Even on your final day, you're never a finished product.
I don't.
Until you technically are.
I think my grandpa would think different.
That went from profound to morbid.
Yes,
it was.
14 seconds.
It was disgusting. It absolutely was. But I do want to transition into something and talk about a guy who is not currently here today in Ben Brust, right? And as we know, Ben Brust was celebrating his daughter's first birthday over the weekend. We love that. It's fantastic.
Didn't get the invite, but okay.
Did not get the invite.
Nope.
You know what's crazy is I was in the kitchen today and somebody asked, "Hey, did you get invited to the birthday party?" And I said, "No, I did not. But I wouldn't have wanted to go anyways because that's not my type of thing to do."
You wouldn't have gone if you got the invite? You would have gone.
I wouldn't have. Reluctantly would have went.
Reluctantly?
Because then, that means we're taking this work relationship a little bit deeper, and I don't know if I really want to do that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, once you start,
but you and Strofe hung out together outside of work last week.
We hung out in the market hall.
That's hanging out outside of the show.
I mean, I can do that.
We were enjoying cocktails together.
Yeah, that's different. That's different than actually
getting
up on a Saturday and specifically going to where they were going, which is where I have a little problem with what happened for that 1-year-old birthday.
Oh, what happened?
Because so when I was 1 year old. They had family come to the house to celebrate.
Hold on a minute. You don't know that.
I assume that, knowing my family. Or, it was somewhere. And usually for kids, you go to kids' places. Maybe you go to, a little bouncy house, or you go to a little jump around, or you go to Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. But for baby Brust, do you know where they hosted her first birthday party at? according to sources close to the program.
What did sources say?
Sources close to the program said baby Brust celebrated her 1-year-old birthday party at a Milwaukee brewery. At a brewery where they serve alcohol for a 1-year-old's birthday party that they had other children at as well.
You know, this is so Ben Brust, right? How can I make this 1-year-old birthday for my daughter? How can I make it about me? How can I maximize my fun? How can I have a little bit of, a little adult beverage, probably some TVs, the breweries they went to, plenty of space to spread out so you can abdicate your duty of being a father to say, okay, baby, enjoy being 1-year-old over there. I'm going to be over here doing my own thing. So this is a shock, an absolute shock. Like you said, Chuck E. Cheese, a play area where there's a jungle gym and stuff like that. A brewery is not equipped to hold a 1-year-old's birthday.
I'm shocked they let children inside of there. Just imagine on the great pictures that they're going to look back on, they're going to look at, right? They're going to have her in the chair with the cake all in her face. And right behind there, they're going to see this big old thing that they brew beer in. And she's going to say, what is that? Was my first birthday at a brewery? Yeah, it was at a brewery because it's all about me. And now Ben's out today. You think it's a coincidence that he was at a brewery over the weekend and now all of a sudden he's out on a Monday?
Yeah, from sources close to the program say he was walking around, he was enjoying himself. He was doing all the things fully engaged at a brewery that one might be doing. So I wonder what the after effects are. So not only are you making the birthday about yourselves, you need at least an extra day of recovery to make up for it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, Brad. So shame on Ben for having his daughter have her first 1-year-old birthday party at a dang brewery. 800-990-3776. If you think it's acceptable for a 1-year-old to celebrate a birthday party at a brewery, I would love to hear from you. 800-990-3776. So what do you think about Ben Brust doing this? Do you think he's just being a terrible parent?
No, I actually think this is completely in bounds.
Oh, of course you do.
Look,
this comes from a 26-year-old.
I hate to break it to you guys, but the first birthday party is not about the person celebrating their first birthday. It is about the people that have kept this person alive to see their first birthday. Everybody invited is going to be like family and friends who probably have kids of their own. So yeah, to have a little libation while the kids are probably off and playing big Jenga or something, like, yeah, I think this is totally in bounds.
What's a kid going to do at a brewery?
But it's not like they were there at 11 p.m. It was probably
It's a brewery. People go to breweries during the day. It's not a nightclub,
but they're probably in a side room that has a lot of space.
A lot of yeast in there, too.
Big Jenga and
you were saying big Jenga. Usually this would be a family event, right? Where probably other parents with kids are coming. What are all these kids ages 1 to probably 12?
Big Jenga, Brad.
Big Jenga. Everyone's playing Big Jenga.
Sounds like a CPS nightmare.
Because we know that Ben's family has, he's the uncle of how many kids? Like 14?
Too many, 20?
17.
17?
Yeah,
so what are all those 17 kids doing at a brewery?
Big Jenga, Brad.
Who knows? Exactly.
Big Jenga.
Who knows? 800-990-3776. Make sure you watch and stream us live on YouTube. That's ESPN Milwaukee, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Also 100.5 ESPN Madison. Watch and stream us live. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and you hit that thumbs up like button. But 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line. And Diana, Dirty Diana, you're calling in early. What are your thoughts here on this conversation?
No, I'm not surprised at all that Ben would do something like that. It sounds exactly like something Ben would do. That's completely messed up. You don't have your daughter's first birthday at a damn brewery?
Preach, girl. Preach. Tell them.
I mean, this is her first birthday.
Her
first birthday. Her first birthday ever on this beautiful planet, and it's at a brewery. I'm just saying, like, if Ben wants his birthday at a brewery when it comes around in October, go for it. But this is all about your baby girl, and it's at a brewery. Unbelievable.
What tone does that set? Huh? Next thing you know,
relax. As she gets older, that's when you invite people over to the house. You're playing in the backyard. You're on the jungle gym. She's not walking yet, I would assume, right?
She's crawling. She was crawling in all type of dirt and all type of puddles of beer all over the place.
Okay, you don't know.
She had to jump around and moving stuff. She probably was like, "What is all this?"
Kids put their hands in things and they put it in their mouth. What do you think she's putting her hands in?
Beer.
The poll is in the field on Twitter at KBN ESPN. Ben Brust hosted his daughter's first birthday party at a brewery. Is that fair or foul? We've only got less than 10 votes, but right now 100% says it's fair.
Wow, 100%?
That's crazy.
KBN Nation.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That is crazy. But you know what? It is what it is. I guess it's the new age parents that just let their kids do whatever. Host it at any place you want. Any place you want. But 800-990-3776. We're having a conversation talking about the fact that Ben hosted his 1-year-old's daughter's birthday party where there was kids and families at a brewery in Milwaukee. Is that fair? Is that foul? Brad thinks it's foul. Strofe obviously thinks it's fair. I also think it is foul as well. But KBN Nation, we had a little fun to open up the show, but now we got to get to the nitty-gritty. Brad, did you see a request that was made recently by a top defensive player in the NFL?
Oh, I sure did, Kyle. I sure did. Myles Garrett officially making himself available to the rest of the NFL.
Myles Garrett watch is officially on in Green Bay. We will talk about that and so much more. 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talking text line. List is more. And we want to have a conversation talking about, do you want Myles Garrett? Is this something that you think the Green Bay Packers should go all in on getting Myles Garrett? Can he be a game changer? 800-990-3776. We want to hear from you. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, and we'll have more on the other side.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
I'm about being young, wild, and free.
No, you're not.
You're
not young, wild, and free.
I am young.
You're not that.
I am
Every time I ask you to do something, I check with a girlfriend.
Wait, why are you taking so? Why are you going personal? Why you gotta talk about business? I can still be free with a lady.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. All football, all the time.
I don't even have to go there. You can't discuss anything about the Dallas Cowboys without mentioning 30 years they haven't been in an NFC championship game. That is pathetic. I don't care if you're Jesus.
Get all your gridiron scoops on the Homer Hour.
How's that for the quote of the day?
Weekdays from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN and on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $1,000 in cash prizes available. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellerson, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a 2-man scramble at TPC Scottsdale, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through February 28th. Your winter chance to play TPC Scottsdale awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette recap, I'm Will Summers. It was a primetime National Marquette Day matchup on Saturday as the 9th-ranked Golden Eagles took on the 25th-ranked Yukon Huskies. The Golden Eagles struggled to gain momentum in the first half, but they wouldn't go down easy, launching a massive second-half comeback thanks to 22 points from senior guard Cam Jones.
Cam Jones is going to go to the basket again. Layup is good.
But it would be too little too late for the Golden Eagles as they fell 77-69 to the Huskies. Marquette will be back on the road Tuesday for another Big East challenge against St. John's.
For your little ones and your biggest joys, for your Forever True and your fur kids too. For all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call John Saganiac Jr., John Saganiac Jr., Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Picture it. Beautiful plants, freshly mowed lawn, crisply edged flower beds, and your grilling dinner out on an incredible back patio. Landworks Wisconsin is ready to plan your green space. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all your landscaping needs. Their team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Get ready for the grooviest celebration of the year. Join us at American Place Casino for our Woodstock and Wildflowers 2-year anniversary bash on Saturday, February 15th. We're giving away $50,000 in cash and free play with winners drawn every 15 minutes from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. Participate in our costume drawing for a chance to win $500 in free play. Come celebrate our 2-year anniversary. Don't miss out on all the fun promotions and live entertainment. Peace, love, and big jackpots await. Visit AmericanPlace.com for more details.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
This ain't Texas, ain't no hold'em, so lay your cards down, 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 down.
See, I don't like the songs that get overplayed. Not even the best song on the album.
This is overplayed?
Very much so. It's not even the best song.
Everywhere?
I live with a Beehive member, so I hear this.
Beehive member.
I hear this quite a bit. There's some good songs on there, but this,
it's a good album.
This is a good song. Oh,
Grammy winning.
Yeah. Oh, you listened to it before, Brad?
I've listened to probably 4 songs of it. This being one of them.
It's good. It's good. A good album. 4 songs at 18.
Do you know who gave her the award last night?
Taylor Swift.
How about that?
Had that leg out too.
Year, yeah.
Taylor Swift and Beyonce coming together. That's what the world needs right now.
I'll just say this. Good for Travis Kelce.
Oh, about Taylor Swift?
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you know what? In my household, somebody says she's looking a little thicker, which is a good thing. A good thing. Travis, hey, it is what it is. But this is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman here on the award-winning. Well,
it is.
The award-winning 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, also 100.5 ESPN Madison, and also ESPN Beaver Dam as well. We're live from the One Call That's All Gruber Law Office studios here. You can get in on this conversation as we are talking about the news that broke, the news that shocked everybody. I don't know where you were at when you saw the headline of Myles Garrett requests a trade from the Cleveland Browns, but I'm sure everybody in KBN Nation, in Packer Nation, all had the same reaction. All had the same reaction to saying, oh my goodness, the time is now. Now, when we look at this, Bradley, why should the Green Bay Packers, in your perspective, from your mind, be all in on going to get Myles Garrett?
Well, the time is now for the Green Bay Packers, Kyle. You said it. When the Packers won Super Bowl 31 and when they won Super Bowl 45, they had game-breaking, major, seismic defensive personnel additions, right? And Reggie White and Charles Woodson. And those guys set the tone and they changed the entire landscape of the defense. It thrust them from being pretty good defenses. Darn this microphone.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Here every day,
man. Listen, I gotta be patient.
For those that are listening on the radio, Kyle's sitting in Ben's spots. I'm sitting in Kyle's spot because there's more space and it's nicer. But this darn microphone is frustrating. Just as I was getting going, Reggie White and Charles Woodson, they took pretty good to solid defenses to great, to excellent, to elite. Does that sound familiar? The Packers right now, they're a good defense. They're top 5 or top 10 in a handful of categories, and they're not necessarily like making anyone afraid, but they're quality, they're solid, they're good. You add Myles Garrett, who's an all-pro, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, finalist for Defensive Player of the Year this year, a guy that is literally all-pro elite in his prime still. A guy like this almost never comes available. You add him to your defense, the Green Bay Packer defense automatically overnight in the snap of a fingers becomes a top 3 defense in the NFL. That sounds like a defense that is championship caliber. You're talking about playmakers at every level. Myles Garrett in the pass rush, Edgerrin Cooper in linebackers, Xavier McKinney in the secondary. You have a defense led by Jeff Hafley that schematically should improve, continue to improve, and Myles Garrett is the finishing touch to make this a championship defense. And here's the thing. I don't care almost what the Packers pay for it. There's a certain, crazy limit, but generally speaking, if this is the only move the Packers do all offseason, give up a haul for Myles Garrett, that's all they do all offseason, it is automatically a successful offseason.
Wow.
A+ across the board, even if it's 2 first-round draft picks, a third-rounder, a player, whatever it is, automatically a successful offseason, A+ for the Green Bay Packers. And here's the other thing. Recently, we've been discussing the Packers. Do they care more about relevance, consistency, or going all in for a championship? If the Packers traded their first-round draft pick in a year where Green Bay hosts the draft to where you could not take the stage in Green Bay and announce a first-round draft pick, but instead use that draft pick to go get Myles Garrett, that would prove to me once and for all that the Packers are indeed more interested in championships, more interested in immediate winning than they are about the moment, the showcase, relevancy, and just being in there. That would be a true sacrifice. The Packers hosting the draft, maybe the biggest singular NFL event outside of a game, because they're never going to get a Super Bowl unless they have the retractable dome that was on here, Brad, out. They're never going to
get a Super Bowl.
So if the Packers are willing to sacrifice that and say, us winning a championship is more important than that Thursday night first-round pick when it's in the beautiful city of Green Bay, Wisconsin, it'll finally prove to me that the Packers truly are more interested in championships than consistency and relevance.
Brad is basically saying, right here on Kyle, Brust, and Norman, that the Packers have to make this move. And if they make this move, right, you're saying that the rest of the offseason doesn't matter. Regardless of whatever they do in this offseason, whether they sign a receiver or whether or not they find another corner, or whether they draft well in this draft, it is all about Myles Garrett. That's what it comes down to.
If they get Myles Garrett is a Green Bay Packer in 2025. The rest of this offseason is automatically an A+.
Yeah, see, I think that's easy, right? I think this is completely easy. When you're thinking about Myles Garrett, of course you should go get Myles Garrett. It will be malfeasance on the behalf of the Green Bay Packers organization and also Goody if they do not invest and go try to get Myles Garrett. It is not often where a player of his caliber in the NFL is saying, hey, I am requesting a trade. I want to get out of here. I want to find a better situation. So there should be no world that we live in that Goody is not making the phone call and being willing to get into a war, a trade war, in order to get Myles Garrett. Because as you said, Brad, he absolutely changes this defense. He is not a player that is just a plus player. He's just not a really high quality player. He's not even just a all-pro player. Dude is a future Hall of Famer who is still in his prime, who is coming off back-to-back multiple sack years. He had 14 sacks this past season. Like Brad said as well, he was a defensive MVP in the past as well. And so you must not only explore, but be all in. Goody said something earlier this offseason. He had his end-of-the-year press conference, Brad. And one of the things that he talked about is he said sense of urgency. He says everybody around here, the players need to have more of a sense of urgency. Now, this is an opportunity for Goody to walk it like he talks it and prove that he's more than just telling other guys to have a sense of urgency, but also that is on him as well. You have a chance to get a generational talent on the defensive side of the football. There are not a lot of football teams that have a defensive game record and an offensive quarterback like Jordan Love, who we believe can be elite. Not a lot of teams have that. That is the difference between losing in Philadelphia in the wild card round or playing in an NFC championship game, right? Like, he gives you more wins. That might be the difference of you having to be a 7 seed or a 6 seed or a 5 seed going on the road, or you actually having a pass rush, which allows for you to maybe get a 1, 2, or 3 seed or something like that, where you actually get to host a playoff game. This is a guy that can catapult this Green Bay Packer franchise into the conversation of being a Super Bowl contending player. And that's why I am officially here to announce, Brad, I'm announcing my official campaign Bring Myles Garrett to Green Bay campaign. It officially starts today.
Hear, 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 hear.
Hear, hear. Everything that we do, we need to make sure that we tag Myles Garrett about how beautiful and great it is in this great state of Wisconsin and why he will find his way to a Lombardi trophy if he were to come here. But I'm telling you this right now. If the Packers let this slip out of their hand, there is literally nothing. A first-round pick, you're talking about, because they are hosting the draft. Who cares they're hosting the draft? Do you know who they drafted? Hail to the Chief. Hail to the Chief, Myles Garrett. He can have everything. He can have anything and give him anything and everything. But when you think about first-round draft picks, this is when Goody, to me, Brad, he has to be realistic, right? Mm-hmm. Like, at this point, you need to say, hey, I can cook during the drafts. I'm good, right? Look at what I did in 2023 and 2024, right? 2022. I did good, right? You did good after the first round. So this is where you have to have that self-evaluation and say, I really want to have a first-round pick, but when I look at a guy like Rashawn Gary, he hasn't lived up to what we thought he would. A Darnell Savage isn't on the roster. A Eric Stokes probably shouldn't be on the roster. A Quay Walker still hasn't quite gotten there yet. Devontae Wyatt, you're still waiting. Lucas Van Ness has been outperformed by guys of lesser or a lower draft slot. Jordan Morgan was out all last year. You have not hit a superstar. If you can trade 2 first-round picks or whatever you got to do to hit a superstar, you do it, Brad. You do it.
Yeah, Goody is best in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounds. That's where he finds the guys that are his best players. And, by the way, those are the guys that had the cheapest contracts over their rookie contract. So it's easier for them to outperform their cap number. When I look at Myles Garrett, Goody has put 3 first-round draft picks in the D-line, several second and even a 3rd contract, and even all this money toward the cap space. And he has nobody that's even in the same universe as Myles Garrett. Not only has Myles Garrett been all-pro 6 times, he actually got MVP votes last year. Like league MVP votes, not defensive player. He was defensive player of the year, but he was 10th in voting for the actual MVP award. So this is a guy that you could draft in the 1st round and take a D-end 10 years in a row. And you might never get a Myles Garrett.
Never.
You probably won't ever get a Myles Garrett.
No, not probably. Goody will never draft a Myles Garrett type player. The Packers aren't going to be drafting low enough in the draft.
That's true.
Or high enough, however you want to say it. They're not going to be drafting the top 5 enough in the draft. And Goody just sucks at evaluating high-end talent.
Yeah, and when it comes to this Super Bowl window, because we have to talk about what Rob Domofsky told our own program, that, Goody stepped on the podium and said that it's time that they start competing for championships. And Rob
use his own words against them.
That's right. And Rob Domofsky says his translation of that is their Super Bowl window is wide open. The next 2 years is when they have to strike gold and they have to get that elusive Super Bowl appearance and victory, because at that point, the roster starts to change and turn over in such a way that you need to go back to the drawing board and do it all over again. Jordan Love's going to be 27 and 28 over the next 2 years. Prime years to win a Super Bowl. Let's say 3 years. 27, 28, 29, prime years for Jordan Love to win a Super Bowl. You have to have somebody like Myles Garrett. I am willing to give up potential future victories 5, 6, 7 years out, if that's what it takes for the next 2 to 3 years for the Packers to be great and try to win a Super Bowl.
But what you're talking about, and we're talking about Myles Garrett has requested a trade from Cleveland and the Green Bay Packers. We're asking you, KBN Nation, should the Green Bay Packers go all in to get Myles Garrett? We have the poll up on Twitter X. We also have the poll up on YouTube. That's ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Should the Packers go all in order to get Myles Garrett right here to Green Bay? I'm looking at the poll and I'm disappointed because it's only 74% yes. I'm trying to figure out
26%.
Something wrong with him. Something's 100% wrong with him. But 800-990-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. Less is more. We want you to chime in on this conversation. Do you believe the Green Bay Packers should go all in when getting Myles Garrett? And the reason why I say you have to, and you can't be concerned with these draft picks, is because draft picks are only potential. A lot of these draft picks of where the Green Bay Packers are drafting, they're going to take time to develop. We haven't had an instant impact type rookie from the first round in many years, right? We haven't had a guy that takes time to develop. And as you just talked about, Brad, the Packers are in this window where a 3 to 5 year plan that Goody has laid out. There is no better way than to make sure you expedite that plan and you ensure that you have a legitimate shot of winning a Super Bowl by getting a guy like this. He has 102.5 sacks so far in his career, and he is not slowing down. Imagine this. Myles Garrett comes here. All of a sudden now, Rashawn Gary becomes that much better. Kenny Clark becomes that much better. Kingsley Enagbari becomes that much better. Maybe Lucas Van Ness learns something from Myles Garrett where they get better as well because, as you know, Brad, though when punters, you don't have multiple punters on the team, but you know from other guys, when you have super talented guys around you, or we see with Aaron Rodgers or from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, being able to learn from a guy who is a master at what he does, that can enhance you as well and make you that much better.
Yeah, and sometimes you need that. A coach can help you, teach form and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes you need to see it. Sometimes you need to see another star player actually do it with his own body and with his own mind. And this is what I watch when I look for film. This is how I attack a guy like this. These are my hand motions. These are my footwork. Sometimes you need to see it as a young player. And let's not forget what this does for the rest of those guys, right? Kenny Clark has been almost ineffective within the last couple of years, right? Part of that reason is because he's probably getting double teamed most of the time. If Myles Garrett is on your defensive line, if he's single teamed, he will get 30 sacks. He's going to gobble you up nonstop. So you have to double team him. What does that mean? That means that everybody else is going to be at least single teamed at most. So you're talking about other guys flourishing, other guys opening up. It'll allow not only Myles Garrett to be an absolute stud, which is what he is, but it'll be the best opportunity for these guys that are ranging from a bust to like Lucas Van Ness to guys that are, either were or are somewhat legitimate, like Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark, to be at their best as well. A strong pass rush, an effective pass rush, a top 3 pass rush in the NFL can cover so many blemishes. If they get Myles Garrett, I'm less concerned about finding a cornerback one. Like, is Jair on the roster? Is he not? Did the Packers go draft one? Did they go acquire one? I'm less concerned about that because no quarterback, if you have Myles Garrett plus our current cast, no cornerback's going to have more than 2.5 seconds to throw the football. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. The Packers want a championship. You got to go get Myles Garrett because a first-round draft pick in 2026, even 2025, Kyle, as you were saying, they will likely not be ready to be main contributors to a Super Bowl team. They just won't be ready. It takes time. Not only that, look at the team that Goody has built without hitting on first-round draft picks. He's proven he can do it.
My gosh. Go ahead.
It's the thing. It's not hitting on first rounders that has kept them from it. You can help cure that right now with Myles Garrett.
It is crazy what we got coming through the talking text line. There are some people who are saying no. Some people saying no to going to get Myles Garrett.
Tell me why.
And I find that so interesting that people would say no. 800-990-3776. Chef Ed is actually saying hell no. The defense is on the upswing under Halfley. For all that money, go and get you a number 1 wide receiver or a good cornerback. I cannot believe him, but I guess that is speaking for, I believe, is probably, let's see where the poll is at, but for the 25% of people that actually believe that the Packers shouldn't go all in for Myles Garrett. It just does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me.
If you're an NFL GM, if we were to poll all the GMs of the NFL, Goody included, and they had if all the rosters started over, right? No one's on any team. You would first draft and establish a quarterback, right? Yep. That's obvious. That's clear. The next position would be an edge rusher. Like, that is the next most important position because you got to get quarterback right, and you have to disrupt the other quarterback. So that would be the thing. So if quarterback is easily far and beyond the number 1 most important position on any given football team, next most important, arguably, but almost assuredly, is edge rusher.
800-990-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. We are asking you, should the Packers go all in to get Myles Garrett? I thought that everybody will be 100% all in, but from some of your responses on YouTube, that is ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and ESPN Madison on YouTube, it is not 100% yes. This is crazy. This is ludicrous. I don't mean to be disrespectful, KBN Nation, but what in the hell are you drinking this morning by thinking the Packers shouldn't go all in to get a game changer? 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talking test line. Less is more. I see your calls. I see your texts. I see you all at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and ESPN Madison on YouTube. We will get to you after this. But again, do you believe the Packers should go all in to get Myles Garrett this offseason? 800-990-3776. That is the Cardinals Talking text line. And this is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
You said they are a reflection of their head coach.
Yes, he's soft, as he proved with you by signing that damn jersey you had on. You think Campbell would have signed that jersey?
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Wallace for Universal Windows Direct. February is here and love is in the air, but if you're not in love with the way your home feels this winter, Universal Windows Direct has the perfect solution with their Love Your Windows sales event. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Need 4 windows, you pay for 2. It's the perfect way to save big while upgrading your home. Schedule your free in-home estimate or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
Kevin Morat, Mentality founder here with a wake-up call. You're running on fumes, gentlemen. Just 1/3 of the free testosterone you need. That's why you're drained, defeated, and disgusted with your progress. But here's the truth. Mentality doctors specialize in epic comebacks. Our clients show an increase of 30% testosterone levels within the first month. We don't just treat men, we reignite lives. Just imagine the focus, energy, and drive being restored. Your comeback starts now. Don't wait. Make this your best year yet. Start today at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
Join the Milwaukee Bucks as the team celebrates historically black colleges and universities with HBCU Night, presented by Johnson Controls on February 20th. Enjoy pregame, halftime, and postgame events that honor the legacy and excellence of historically black colleges and universities and those who attended them. For more information and to purchase a ticket package, visit bucks.com/impact. That's bucks.com/impact.
Hey, this is Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Racine Danish Kringles has you covered with their heart-shaped Kringle. You know my family loves Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles, and sometimes they share it with me. Racine Danish Kringles offers a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing in raspberry, chocolate silk, cherry, and pecan flavors to send to your loved one. Order at Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, the official pastry of ESPN Wisconsin. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. The IRS has you in their crosshairs. We are local and know how to deal with the IRS and state to solve your situation. Just the other week, we successfully removed the target on Nick to get $194,358 of taxes and penalties removed. This is why I started Right Choice Tax Resolution, to help people fight the IRS and state. You don't know the ins and outs of all the taxes they can charge you or the more than 150 penalties they can impose on you. Make the right choice and call us at 844-222-1192. We want to help so your bank account doesn't get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security garnished, or a lien put on your house. Get rid of that stress and get back to enjoying life. The situation won't go away if you do nothing. Call us at 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us right now to book a meeting.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, live from the One Call That's All Gruber Law Offices studio at the Avenue in the 3rd Street Market Hall. I'm Kyle Wallace. No Ben Brust today. Ben is he's sick today. He's out.
Little tummy ache.
Oh, yeah, my head hurts.
Take care of me.
Yeah, so he's out today after partying up for a 1-year-old's birthday party at a brewery. But you got
he asked for this.
He did.
He asked for it.
He did. He definitely did. But you got Bradley Nortman here, Kyle Wallace, and also Strofe holding it down behind.
Full name, Bradley.
Yeah, I say Bradley a lot when I'm.
You do. You're one
like
of the few people that actually christen me Bradley. There's very few. It's you, my mom. That's about it. I can't think of anyone that consistently calls me Bradley. And even my mom, it's like only in moments of either in terms of endearment or when I was in trouble back in the day.
Well, this is a term of endearment always, Bradley.
It is, but you call me Bradley almost at a higher clip than anyone else in my life.
I mean, it is your name. Your mom and daddy named you that, didn't they?
That's true. Yeah, it is. On the birth certificate, it does say Bradley.
I am just respecting you, Brad. But 800-990-3776. We're having a conversation about should the Green Bay Packers go all in for the Cleveland Browns defensive end, Myles Garrett. Carr was talking text line. Sorry about that. Strofe is all in my ear.
See, well, hold on now. So when Ben is in that seat, Ben and Strofe has a little bit of the love connection. Now I feel like the third wheel.
We don't have a love connection. Me and Strofe do not have a love connection.
No, you guys went and got drinks together in the market hall.
I'm doing my damn job.
No, you guys had drinks in the market hall. You guys are talking in your own little secret passageway here.
I'm helping Kyle lead the show like I do with Ben.
Now there's only three of us. I feel left out.
Well, in my defense, I've been saying the wonderful Carbless talking text line many times. I mean, if I miss it once, my goodness, Stroke, cut me a little slack.
Is that what you got?
I'm trying here.
I just said the word Carbless.
Yeah, I do an hour show on 101.7 The Truth. So I'm trying
this station 101.7 The Truth twice.
How about today?
Yeah,
I didn't even know. That's the thing. I'm trying my darndest to try to manipulate, not do things, and not say the wrong thing. So my apologies. I'm a little bit still caught up where I was from 12 to 1, but I'm here with KBN Nation, and I love what KBN Nation said here at the 800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk-In text line, where listens more. And Eric from the 414 said, everyone saying no to Myles Garrett must have been at baby girl's birthday party with Ben this weekend, and they must still be a little bit drunk.
Yeah, they ain't thinking clearly. They are not thinking clearly. It's the only explanation.
They can't be thinking clearly, but also Dave in Juneau, he thinks that people who are saying no are idiotas. Explain it.
Yes. They're idiots.
How so? Why?
Myles Garrett's a game changer. That's why. I mean, just like Kyle's a game changer on your radio station.
Wow. How about that?
Hey, cut that. Shout out to Juneau. Shout out to Dave and Juneau. I didn't solicit that whatsoever. That is
yeah, you went to him pretty quickly, Kyle. It's like, hey, we got to make sure we get to this caller.
Yeah, so Dave must be baby girl's father, I would guess.
No, not at all. You think baby? Let me tell you,
baby girl's uncle.
Baby girl, no.
Your uncle?
Baby girl. No, that is not my uncle. Baby girl's dad legitimately told me this weekend he doesn't listen to the show.
Ever?
No.
How do you feel about that?
You know what? My friends don't listen either. They'll call and text me during the show, so I'm like, you know what?
He's just trying to separate like his image of you from like, you know, the sports talk radio image of you.
I think our relationship is probably better off that he doesn't listen.
That's probably a fair point.
Because you know, I say things that I love my girl, but I ain't spending $3 on her. Yeah.
If and when you eventually ask baby girl's hand and you have to go ask him for her hand, that line.
I love my girl, but I ain't spending $3 on her.
You might have to explain yourself.
Well, I would tell him this ring light I purchased was more than $3. This roof that she has over her head is more than $3. Wow. So, sir, what I say for entertainment purposes and facts too. I love my girl, but I ain't spending $3 on her. Sometimes, it's so she can eat. So I do appreciate that he supports me, but he does not listen. But back to what everybody cares about, not about my relationship and love life, but back to talk about Myles Garrett, who Dave from Juneau said is an absolute game changer. This is why Green Bay. Yeah, I am a game changer. This is why the Green Bay Packers should go all in on getting Myles Garrett, which leads me to kind of think, is there any limit, Brad? Like, is there any limit of how many draft picks you get? Because I want to give you a comp, because 800-990-3776, that is the Carbless Talking text line. And Mark in Illinois said, how did it work when the Bears got Khalil Mack? They gave up a lot of draft capital for nothing, right? And I don't think it's nothing.
Khalil Mack was still pretty good. And let's be fair here. Myles Garrett, better than Khalil Mack. Much better.
And Khalil Mack yes, he's better. And at that moment, Khalil Mack was an absolute monster. I was, as a Packers fan, and you would be lying. As a Packers fan, you were concerned when they got Khalil Mack because you said, oh my goodness, the Bears actually got somebody that's good. And what they gave up for Khalil Mack back when they got him was 2 first-round draft picks, a third-round pick, and a sixth-round pick. And they got Mack in a second-round pick and a conditional fifth-round pick in return. I would do that today. I would do that at this very moment. So Myles Garrett be here this week.
So let's cancel out, just for ease of like mental here, right? So the Bears got a second, they gave up a third. They don't really, but let's kind of cancel those out. And there's also a couple later rounds that kind of cancel. So basically 2 first-round draft picks is what it comes down to. Some later swaps, but 2 first-round draft picks, that's the meat of the trade.
The meat of the trade is 2 first-round draft picks.
I'd give them, take them.
That is, re-looking at this trade and knowing, again, Khalil Mack did not make the Bears into a Super Bowl champion, but he was a threat. Like, Khalil Mack was an absolute threat. And if you have an opportunity to make somebody like Myles Garrett an absolute threat on your football team and where you're at, you may not even have to give up all of this because he requested a trade. And they're going to be very specific about where he wants to go and where they want to send him.
And it's not like it's not like Myles Garrett's 34 years old. He's 29. He's in the prime of his career. He is going to be the best rusher, maybe alongside TJ Watt, the best rusher in the NFL for the next 3 years. Like, that's not going anywhere. And then after that, we'll figure things out. Now, 3 first-round draft picks. So that's like kind of what Denver gave up for Russell Wilson. So that's like
a quarterback. And nobody's ever going to do that again, though.
Yeah, and I know Russell hasn't necessarily played up to the trade.
No, not at all.
But like, that is the haul you would get for a franchise quarterback. So 3 first-round draft picks, I think, would be unprecedented for a quarterback. And I don't think we would get. I don't think anyone would do that.
Yeah, we're not doing that, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about probably 2 first-round picks.
2 first-round draft picks I would do, because Goody's first-round draft picks have not hit.
No, they've been bust for the most part.
And tell me what the next 2 first-round draft picks are going to do. Now, first-round draft picks should be impactful, right? Those should be your guys that are cornerstones of your franchise. It's actually impressive that Goody has put together a playoff quality team without hitting on almost any first round draft picks. I mean, Jordan Love was, yes, or Rashawn Gary and Jair were pretty good, but the rest of them he hasn't hit on. So to me, Myles Garrett has the production, he has the ferocity, he has
look at that name.
He has the impact of whoever the next 2 first round draft picks are, no matter what, no matter who they are.
Yeah,
I think you give up 2 first-round draft picks. It's easy money. I would stand here and applaud that trade to Goody.
And so I hope that we don't get to a point and the trade happens and he doesn't come to Green Bay. I hope, for the sake of Goody, that we don't see what the trade is and we're just all sitting here like, what in the heck are you doing?
If it's less than that, if it's less than 2 first-round draft picks and the Packers don't do it,
pitchforks.
I will be
pitchforks out to Green Bay.
Upset with Goody.
Pitchforks. We're going to Green Bay with pitchforks. 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talking text line. List is more. Mike in Menominee Falls. What up, Mike? You have a comment you think Garrett is equivalent to who?
Listen, this happened about 40 years ago. We had a guy by the name of Reggie White that came in from the Philadelphia Eagles. And this guy took an absolutely mediocre team and made us Super Bowl contenders for multiple seasons in the future. At the time when we had a very young quarterback by the name of Brett Favre, everybody on that team gelled as a result of that. The fact that Gooden, because he has demonstrated he is the most inferior first-round draft talent judge, probably in the history of professional football for GM, if you look what he's done with our defense. All number ones, not a single impact player amongst them, even still after being there for 4, 5, 6 years in the league. Go after this guy. He's proven. Enough of this rolling the dice on guys that he thinks might play that can't play when they finally get to this level. Go after this guy. Go after him now and knock this thing in, because then everybody else gets better, as everybody's been demonstrating. But I think Goody has clearly demonstrated what he's done in the last couple of years. He's better at picking up free agent talent, far better than his capacity to be able to draft quality first-round picks that make an impact.
Ooh, I love the sense of urgency in his voice. Love the sense of urgency. And here's the other thing.
Right.
I've been fairly critical. I've been praise Goody, but I've also been critical of Goody because I don't feel like he's willing to do absolutely everything to build a championship team. And that means like use all the avenues that are available to him, whether it be draft and develop, he does that, whether it be free agency. More recently, he's waded in those waters. But what about a trade? Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They made a big trade for A.J. Brown in order to get their number one wide receiver. When's the last time Goody has exercised a trade that you're bringing in somebody that's going to help your football team, not shipping somebody out? Goody almost refuses to take on and execute those big trades. So this would be Goody again proving that championship is the near-term goal, not medium-term, not long-term. And by, actually sacrificing a little bit on the trade block, it would show me that, you know what? Goody is willing to do anything and everything to make this team championship caliber.
And I believe, Mike, and what we've been talking about as we are talking about the fact that Myles Garrett is now available because he has requested a trade, and I'm sure the Browns have not confirmed whether or not they're going to oblige and trade him. More than likely, Myles Garrett will be traded, and we want to know, should the Packers go all in to get Myles Garrett? And the biggest thing it comes down to is when we're talking about draft picks, you're talking about prospects, right? You're talking about the excitement of what the future could hold. When you're talking about Myles Garrett, you're talking about a proven commodity, right? That is what you're talking about. When you have an opportunity to get a proven commodity like that, where you ain't got to worry about them developing, right? You already know what they're going to bring to you. You already know that they can make a difference. You think Xavier McKinney made a difference on this defense last year with his 8 interceptions? Imagine somebody who's a lot better than Xavier McKinney.
And if I may, some people on the YouTube chat are making good observations that I was also thinking about. Somebody said, who was it? Junie one time said basically, if he doesn't go on the Packers, imagine if he goes to another NFC team. In fact, imagine if he goes to another NFC North team. How will Packer fans be feeling if Myles Garrett became a Viking, became a Lion, became a Bear? Now that says everything I need to know, because if that happened, I would be concerned. I'd have a pit in my stomach, and I would say, every time you play that, Jordan Love's me running for his life. How can he possibly be effective and get into rhythm? Because he's that disruptive.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Scary thought.
It would be a scary thought. Go ahead and get him so nobody else does. 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line. But on the other side, I'm not, I usually don't point out imperfections about people.
Oh?
But, there's no Ben here today, and so I can't look anywhere else but look you in the eye. And when we come back, make sure you join us at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and ESPN Madison on YouTube, because we got to address the sore spot in the eye of Bradley Nortman when we come back. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Tyler, thank you for all that baby talk there and parenting talk. I'll take some of those tips.
I was getting ready for it right
now. Yeah,
taking notes over there,
taking some of those nips, taking some of those tips, those tips and storing them away. I do like nips as well. But Tyler,
on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Romeo. This 3-syllable, you have to take the O out of the equation. That's too easy.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Iota, right? Not one iota. Iota.
Yeah, that's only 4 letters.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
Let's pretend you're a first-time listener to Wilde and Tausch. What the hell is this? They're discussing syllables.
On 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at PaysBig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold Carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hey, I got you something. What's this? Just a little Galentine's gift from JTV.
Do you mean Jewelry Television? I love their jewelry. They have the
New customers get $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
Yeah, their artisan collections, gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
Oh yeah, it's the pearl bracelet.
New customers receive $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
Insulate your home and start saving on energy costs with Owens Corning Foamular Insulation. These panels are moisture resistant and rugged enough to be used above and below ground. Plus, these pink panels are available in many different sizes and thicknesses to fit any project. Save big on Owens Corning Foamular Insulation. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
What's the credit union difference? Well, let me tell you what's different about Educators Credit Union. We're community advocates, fundraisers, small business champions, and all around passionate about you. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together, insured by NCUA.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison, and also ESPN Beaver Dam. Make sure you watch and stream us live on ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as we are trying to get to 10,000 subscribers here at ESPN Milwaukee. Hit that subscribe button, but also make sure you give us a thumbs up because you know you love KBN. But also, no Ben Brust today, just me and Brad holding it down, Strofe on the ones and twos, and we're having a conversation about going all in on Myles Garrett. But I want to pause that for a second because for the last hour, I didn't want to say nothing because, you know, I respect people, right? Like, everybody can't be beautiful all the time.
What are you saying?
And so make sure you guys go to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. And I've been looking at Brad in his eye for the last hour, and one eye looks normal, and the other eye look all red, and I'm trying to make sure you ain't got pink eye, do you? I hope you didn't come to work sick like that. Brad's eye is pink, is weird, it's got some fuzz or some pus.
Are you saying I don't look
coming
beautiful?
Up. Not today, buddy. Not today.
Oh,
you may be a handsome gent, but I know for dang sure them babies you got and your wife probably say, "Oh, what's going on?"
Monster.
They say,
let me assure you, Kyle, it's not pink eye. It's not contagious. It's a sty. You ever heard of what a sty is before?
I've heard about it.
It's basically like a bad pimple on your eyelash, right?
Ugh.
So basically, bacteria gets into your oil glands in your eye.
What were you doing?
So here's what's going on. So first of all, I went to the doctor to get this checked out. I get a sty once every 18 months or so. First of all, I have enlarged oil glands in my eye, so it makes me more predisposed to get these styes. But you know who I really blame for this?
Who?
Not God for making my beautiful eyes and my beautiful oil glands, making them too large. I blame the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know why I blame them?
Oh.
So in 2016, I joined the Jags, right? and they have a sleep specialist come in, and they tell us all these certain things that we need to do in order to get optimized sleep, right? They take us through this whole regimen. They gave us this expensive sleep tracking mat to put underneath our mattress so it can register our sleep patterns. But they also said, they gave us amber glasses to wear to cut off blue ray. They also said everybody should be wearing an eye mask when they go to sleep. There's no excuse for it. It's the only way to perfectly eliminate all light from a room. Now, blackout shades, you have to wear an eye mask. So I said, you know me, I'm a pretty complicit guy. So I said, okay, I'll wear the eye mask. So I start wearing the eye mask, and what do you know? I form an addiction to this eye mask.
Oh, no.
Addiction is not the best way to put it. I form a routine, a habit of something
it is.
I cannot sleep without something on my face. So even to this, was 2016, 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I can't sleep without something on my face. Now,
that has to be terrible.
For about 2 years, I slept with an eye mask. Sure enough, I got a sty. I got a sty the size of a marble. My first time. It was ridiculous, Kyle. You think this is ugly? That was hideous. I had to go to a wedding. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Did Lexi still kiss you?
Amazingly, she did. She can see through it. See my inner beauty, Kyle. So since that moment, I said, okay, I got to stop with the eye mask. So I've went from an eye mask. I wore a black T-shirt over my face, and now I do a pillow.
Brad, you have all types of just things,
I do a pillow.
Man. Things.
So I've got one pillow on the back of my head, and I put another pillow just like this, just plop on my face.
You look ridiculous. I can tell you this right now. You look ridiculous.
Lexi sleeping next to me, there'll be times where she'll wake up and she won't see any trace of my face. So she'll be like, baby, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
Suffocating yourself.
I'm suffocating myself. But nope. I need something on my face as I sleep.
How does one become a sleep specialist?
They needed a wind specialist down in Jacksonville. That's what they needed.
I think they studied sleep scientifically, perhaps. And that's the best thing they came up with. We're going to give you a tracker. We're going to give you some amber glasses and this sleep mask. And that's the thing that stuck with me. I don't wear amber glasses at night. I don't know what happened to the tracker, the high-tech, expensive tracker. Don't know what happened to it. My biggest takeaway is I need something over my eyes. It's causing styes in my eye.
You should probably try to adjust. Maybe you should wean yourself off of this. And maybe get blackout garbage bags. I know you don't like curtains.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have curtains. Does that play a role, maybe, use the pillow?
So we do have temporary curtains. There's still one trash bag
temporary curtains, you mean garbage bags?
One is a garbage bag. The other one is literally curtains that we did get just to put over the top of it. But one garbage bag does exist still in the Nortman master bedroom. But even in place, if I go on do a hotel room or a friend's house or something, if they don't have an extra pillow, I sort of panic. And so then I'll grab a shirt out of my luggage and I'll curl it up.
You have anxiety attacks about having this?
I can't fall asleep. I'll curl it up and I'll rest it over my eyes.
My man be fidgeting and scratching his neck.
Get comfortable.
He said, my wife, Lexi, I can't get comfortable. I can see something that's cover my eyes. Brett, so what do you do?
I've taken towels before.
What about naps? Do you take naps?
Yeah, put something over my eye. So I'll get towels, I'll get a sweatshirt, I'll get a pillow, and I'll put one underneath.
This is a nuisance. You can't, if you ever do a long road trip.
I'm high maintenance.
No, so if you do a long road trip, you make sure you pack, if you're driving a car, you say, can't leave. Got to get my mask to cover up my face.
If we take a road trip and I'm in the passenger seat and I'm trying to go to sleep, I will need you to grab me something that I can put over my eyes. Give me this T-shirt. Give me a bunch of napkins. Give me something that I can put over my face because I need that, not only the sensation of something on my face, but I need it.
Right, it costs you to get a sty.
Multiple styes. This is probably my fifth sty.
Jeez, maybe you should stop, man. Maybe you should really just think about it.
I'll try to wean myself off.
Stop scratching yourself, Brad. Getting worse. 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Less is more. I'm done with Brad talking about this sty in his eye that I got to look at if you want to see it yourself. He is still a handsome gentleman. It's just, kind of hard.
One area that's hideous.
Hard to see. Make sure you guys watch and stream us on ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Sty don't know if sleeping with a pillow on your face is a good idea.
Very good, Strofe.
Oh, wow.
You got a couple chuckles around, people listening.
I don't know if that is true.
He's hilarious. But you know what? We see everybody on the talking text line. And you guys still want to talk about Myles Garrett, as there has been a trade request from Myles Garrett as he wants to get traded from the Cleveland Browns. Now, we've talked about why the Packers should go all in to get him. But on the other side, Brad, I want to talk about, can we actually make a case for why he would want to come to Green Bay, right? Because he said he wants to go to a Super Bowl contender. We think the Packers could be a Super Bowl contender. But why should Myles Garrett think the Packers should be a Super Bowl contender? We'll have that and so much more. Keep it like you're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman right here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison in 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
The 2025 Wisconsin football schedule is here, and you should be too. Season tickets are on sale now, so don't miss your chance to jump around at Camp Randall Stadium this fall. Last year, 6 of 7 home games were sellouts, proof that there's nothing like game day with the Badgers. Secure your spot for marquee matchups against Ohio State, Washington, and Iowa, and enjoy the best value to see Wisconsin football in action. For more information and to get your season tickets, visit ewbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Get ready, Oak Creek. Tsunami Express is making a splash with a brand new location at 6900 South 27th Street. Join the grand opening celebration February 12th through the 23rd. Enjoy free washes and snag an unbeatable deal. Just $5 for your first month of unlimited washes. Plus, 100% of the grand opening proceeds go to Special Spaces Wisconsin, creating dream bedrooms for kids battling cancer. Make a difference while getting your car sparkling clean at Tsunami Express in Oak Creek. See you there. Offer valid for new members only. Terms and conditions apply.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. The big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. Check out the promos tab to tail any of our Super Sweat Millie winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN on ESPN Wisconsin. Here's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and Brad Nortman.
It is hour 2 of Kyle, Brust, and Nortman right here on ESPN Wisconsin. No Ben Brust today. He is out sick, so he's on the injured list today. But you have myself, Kyle Wallace, and Brad Nortman, the longtime NFL punter, the great kicker, punter at Wisconsin.
Punter, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's insulting. I know I'm hideous today, but put some respect on my name.
I feel like I would prefer to be a field goal kicker than a punter.
Why?
Punters don't get as much glory.
Yeah, but it's less stress.
I mean,
more athletic, generally speaking.
I mean, I feel like more people.
More handsome.
Yeah, I feel like more people want to be a kicker. Like if I had to choose,
funnier.
Yeah, okay.
More charismatic.
Better friends.
So you're just afraid of more pressure?
No, I just like if you're going to choose to be a field goal kicker versus a punter, for everything considering, punter is surely the way to go.
I mean, okay. So name the Packers punters over the last 25 years.
That's not fair because the Packers have had like 4 kickers versus 12 punters.
Name the Packers field goal kickers over the last 25 years.
Well, the field goal kickers are
starting back in Super Bowl 97.
Chris Jackie.
Oh wow, you still remember that? Who's the punter on that team?
Craig Hendrick, I believe.
I don't know. I can't. Oh, there he is. All right.
Right. Am I right?
You're right.
How about in the next Super Bowl? That'd be Mason Crosby and Tim Mastay.
Okay.
You missed the Ryan Longwell gap.
He remembers.
Yeah, but we were just jumping to Super Bowl.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, but Ryan Longwell.
Yeah.
He was.
Well, then that's the end of the list because they haven't made a Super Bowl since.
Yeah, that's true. That's all that matters is the Super Bowl years.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
People don't remember.
So you're saying you'd rather be a kicker than a punter?
Heck yeah. Game on the line. I kick a field goal. I get to take my helmet. Everybody remembers the little, I don't remember, what is his name? The guy with the goggles or glasses from Georgia, Ricardo or something like that.
Yeah,
what's the name?
Blankenship.
Blankenship, right? Everybody remembers him, right? Everybody remembers Martin Gramatica when he jumped up and tore his knee up, but he's a kicker.
But they also remember Anders Carlson, Brandon Narveson.
So what? What?
You're okay being in the ire of people?
I'd rather be remembered to never even knowing I played.
Wow.
I mean, people know you played here. But, I mean, you go down to, I don't know, you go to Georgia, they may not remember. Maybe they do remember.
Didn't Mama Wallace always say you should be a kicker?
Yeah, field goal kicker, yeah. She did. She told us to kick field goals.
It could have been you and me, Kyle.
It could have been.
The state of Wisconsin.
We could have represented, but unfortunately, I thought I could be a running back or a cornerback. Worst decision of my life.
Yep.
But 800-990-3776, that is the Carbless Talking text line. And we have been talking about the shocking news of Myles Garrett requesting a trade from the Cleveland Browns. And we want to know, do you want the Packers to be all in? But also, we want to make a case, right? We want to make an argument because Myles Garrett, he didn't just say he wants to be traded. No. Myles Garrett was very, very specific about what he wanted, right? And when he talked about in his note that he sent out, his statement, he said, as a kid, dreaming of being in the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, and that goal fuels me today more than ever. And so can the Green Bay Packers fulfill his goal and dream of actually getting him to a Super Bowl? That's what we need to prove to him. We need to prove to him that this is a spot that you can actually win. And B's from Milwaukee. You want to talk about Jair, but also talk about Myles Garrett and if you think this is a place that he can win a championship at.
Well, it's definitely a place you win a championship at. I just think that it's going to be an incredible haul to get him, which makes you start to wonder, is that who you should be targeting versus like Crosby scenario and utilizing Josh Jacobs' recruiting ability to lure something like that where you can get multiple players, because I agree with you, probably 2 first-rounders. I don't think you're going to get a first-rounder for Jair if you went that route of trying to get an extra pick that way.
So you want to know what Jair? Jair Alexander might, at this point, his stock may be as low as it's ever been.
I don't know if anyone's going to trade for Jair because he's injured all the time. That's the hard part. I think people are waiting for the Packers to release him. Yeah, unfortunately,
you're a year too late with Jair. You had to trade him last year. If you trade him this offseason, you're selling low. That's what you're doing. You're selling Jair low. You know you're probably going to move on. He already said that, he may not even be here. So right now it's dysfunction and the relationship is broken. And so unless they repair the relationship and he comes back next year and then he has maybe more value, but yeah.
And to me, and Beat said he'd rather have Max Crosby than Myles Garrett, even if it means you have to pay more for Myles Garrett. I'd rather give 2 first-rounders for Myles Garrett than 1 first-rounder for Max Crosby.
Oh, I agree. Only
Max
one
Crosby's good, but Myles Garrett is virtually unguardable. I mean, he has been all-pro for 5 straight years, Defensive Player of the Year, and literally got MVP votes last year for the actual NFL MVP. I mean, with all due respect to Max Crosby, but I mean, I believe he's slightly older. If not, no, I guess Max Crosby is younger. But the impact that Myles Garrett would have would be certainly a larger impact than what Max Crosby would have.
Yeah, and so to that, Brad, I do want to talk a bit about the fact of why Myles Garrett should want to come to Green Bay. Because as we've seen in like the NBA and some of these places, that these players have a lot of control. Even NFL players don't have as much control to dictate where they go, such as the NBA. But these players do kind of get to dictate where they go. And if the Cleveland Browns do indeed decide to oblige them and say, you know what, we're going to trade you, you have to think about they're not going to trade him to the AFC, right? You're not going to want to keep him in the AFC where you have aspirations of winning a championship yourself and only having to trade somebody to a team that you may have to face to get to the Super Bowl wouldn't be good business, right? We talk about Khalil Mack. What did they do? The Raiders at that time traded him to the Chicago Bears, the NFC. So now you could probably eliminate 16 teams, and then you have to eliminate teams that aren't good, aren't playoff ready. So this gives the Green Bay Packers a legitimate shot to be one of the teams. But, Brad, I want to know, if you're Myles Garrett, why should you be like, yeah, the Green Bay Packers are on my top 3 destination list? What is about the Green Bay Packers roster? What is about the organization? Why should Myles Garrett take his talents to Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Well, Kyle, have you ever dated someone that is just incredibly dysfunctional and drama all the time? Hypothetically speaking, perhaps.
I may have dabbled.
Well, I wonder if your inclination after dating somebody like that is
maybe I'm the problem.
You want to move on to somebody else. I would bet you were looking for someone that was very stable, very consistent, very predictable, somebody that you could count on, that you wouldn't wake up in the morning and say, what type of version of this person am I going to get today? Well, that is what Cleveland has been for Myles Garrett. He's been that drama. It's been nothing but conflict and bad decisions and irrelevance. He wants to go to a place that's the exact opposite. He wants to go to stability, reliability, consistent, predictable. And that is the Green Bay Packers. And the reason why he would probably choose the Packers, maybe even over a place like the Lions, if I'm going to make a case for it. The Lions have only been relevant for like 3 years, 2 seasons. Are you really going to rely on the Lions organization? But the Packers have 3 decades worth of consistency that you can rely on, right? And that includes other teams too, because you look at the Cowboys, you look at the Commanders, the Eagles. The Eagles might be another consistent team, but are you going to trust the Commanders, who've been good for 1 year? The Packers have a track record of always being relevant, always being good, always knocking on the door, and always in the playoffs. And that's what you want. Now, maybe my criticism of the Packers is that is always what they are, and they're unwilling to go that final last step to be a Super Bowl contender, and that's why it's a perfect match made in heaven. Myles Garrett gets the consistency, the stability, the playoff game and the championship run he wants, and the Packers finally get that playmaker that they have been needing in order to make that Super Bowl run and be true Super Bowl contenders. So whether it be a young quarterback, young players, a player-friendly coach in Matt LaFleur, studs all over the board, and a community that will embrace you and love you until the day you die.
Now, Brad, you gave a fantastic response and answer there, and we'll love you to the day they die because Reggie White, R.I.P., not really meant to say it like that, but the Green Bay Packers fans still to this day still absolutely love them. Reggie White. The whole point was, okay, so
they love Clay Matthews.
Yeah, they love Clay Matthews, but we had a caller that called in and talked about Reggie White 30 plus years ago, and so I'm just saying, I see where it matches up, where now the Packers fans adore Donald Driver, who just had a birthday. Packers fans love Donald Driver. They will love you like you have never been loved.
Happy birthday, Donald.
And you also get a chance to win football games. So I love what you have to say, Brad. But no offense to you, no offense to me, no offense to Strofe. I want to hear what Packers reporter and host of Wilde and Tausch right here on ESPN Wisconsin, Jason Wilde, has to say about the breaking news of Myles Garrett. Does Jason Wilde believe this is a legitimate shot for the Packers to get him? Got to stay locked in and listen because we will have Jason coming up next right here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Student Athlete Support Fund is something I was looking at. I'm ultimately likely going to give to this College of Letters, I was in life.
Long week.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We are seeing some delays out there with an accident for sure. Southbound on 43 right about at Locust. The right shoulder is blocked. But before this, we did have a couple of right lanes blocked. So delays stretching all the way back to Silver Spring. They're pretty hefty delays too. Northbound side slowing down around the North Avenue curve heading up to Locust. And then on westbound Highway 18, we've got a broken down vehicle with the right lane blocked just west of Highway 100. So just be careful with that. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles, now offering a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing in raspberry, chocolate silk, cherry, and pecan flavors. Order at Kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 19. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 27. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play TPC Scottsdale for a chance to win cash through the 28th. Sign up at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
24/7, 365. We're always on the clock.
I'm not coming to work tomorrow.
Good. Tomorrow's Saturday, you bozo.
Well, most of the time anyway. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, the home for all your Packers off-season news.
So we can do all these fantasy trades for DK Metcalf and Max Crosby, and we can get Bonds and Griffey, and it's not even going to cost us that much.
Weekday mornings from 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Wallace for Universal Windows Direct, and they have the Love Your Windows sale going on now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. It's the perfect way to save big. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm not leaving. The Wolf of Wall Street was on the other day when I was flipping through channel. Great family film.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
I'm a naturally inquisitive person.
Holding everybody accountable.
If you feel better about that, I'm happy to do so.
Jason Wilde is on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Yes, you heard that correct. We are now being joined by Jason Wilde of Wilde & Tausch, that you can hear right here on ESPN Wisconsin, 9 to noon every single weekday. Jason, welcome into Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Brustless Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, from what I'm being told.
Yeah, a brustless Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Is that a little refreshing on a Monday for you? Like, oh, okay, I don't have to deal with them?
Yeah. Well, it's always, first of all, like, I think the last time I was on last week, you didn't even get to talk. So it's great to talk to you.
Yeah, they sometimes that happens, Jason. They kind of just step all over me like that. But I say, that's okay.
Yeah. We're all eager to talk to Jason.
Yeah,
Kyle.
just as long as KBN Nation gets their questions answered is all that matters to me. And Jason, as you know, headline news over the weekend, NBA trade after NBA trade, and then headline news today during your show, I believe, the breaking news of star defensive end, Myles Garrett requests to trade from the Cleveland Browns. That is the news of the day. And tell me this, Jason, what would it take for the Green Bay Packers to get him here?
They'd have to be willing to pay the highest price, and they'd have to outbid some other contenders because he says he wants to go to a contender. Now, in fairness to the Browns, which, I'm not an ESPN Cleveland guy, but they were in the playoffs a year ago, right? And they obviously have gotten the quarterback situation wrong. But it did seem like they were trending in very much the right direction with Kevin Stefanski. I mean, Joe Thomas, who we love, was a Cousins sub for me a couple weeks ago.
when there were some rumblings that Myles Garrett might want out, and he had this kind of strange, cryptic response to one of the beat writers after the season ended. And Joe, who obviously spent his entire career in Cleveland and never made it to the playoffs, basically cautioned Myles Garrett about the idea of leaving, thinking, things will be greener on the other side.
Really?
And, I think the world of Joe. Obviously, he's the second most famous former Brookfield Badger after Nortman.
That's right, Jason.
But I mean, I know he's competitive as all get out too, and so if he was presented with the opportunity. Obviously, there was talk about him being traded to the Denver Broncos late in his career. And yeah, there's something special, as Tausch and Donald Driver and Leroy Butler can attest, of spending your whole career with one team, Robin Yount. But I don't know about you, but I can't really blame a guy who has endured as much losing in Cleveland as Myles Garrett has to want an opportunity elsewhere if he doesn't think, if he doesn't believe in Deshaun Watson. And he wants more money because obviously the guaranteed money is run out on his deal. So that's got to be factored into. But if he doesn't think they're going to have a chance at winning a title before his time is up, I can't say I blame him for wanting to leave, even if, from what I hear, a lot of Myles Garrett's focus is on Myles Garrett most of the time.
Jason, if they actually pull off a trade for Myles Garrett, it would almost certainly include the 2025 first-round draft pick, maybe more, probably more, but at least this upcoming year draft. And ironically, it is also hosted in Green Bay. Do you think the Packer organization maybe values this first-round draft pick more than most because it's being held in Green Bay? Or do you think that they view it just like any other first-round draft pick?
Well, I would hope not, right? I would hope that they wouldn't view it as any more valuable or any more important just because of the location of the draft. Now, do I think the football people would view it as more important that you keep that pick? I don't. I don't think Goody is wired that way. I don't think Matt LaFleur is wired that way. Frankly, if anything, I think, if you gave them a bottle of truth serum, and they would they have never said this to me personally. They have never said this at all, as far as I know, at least not publicly. But, for them, the draft being in Green Bay is an incredible inconvenience. Like, we were already talking about it last year during the draft, about how hard it's going to be to get into Lambeau Field, right? Because it's going to be this festival atmosphere around everywhere, but those guys have to get into their draft room is in the building. Their meeting rooms are in the building. Me as a reporter who's not nearly as important as Goody getting into the building, I need to get into the building too. And so, I think it's an inconvenience. So do I think they feel a pressure that, we got to announce a first-round pick when it's our home game? I don't think the football people do. And if they do, I'd be, frankly, a little disappointed, right? Now, do the marketing people and the business side people and the team president maybe think so? That was Gabe's theory this morning when he jumped in on our show when I was in town. But you would hope that there'd be other ways and there would be built-in opportunities for people to celebrate the Packers hosting the draft. And if they don't have a first-round pick, it would be a footnote at best. But Gabe believes it, and Gabe's a smart guy. So if he believes it at least gives me pause to think, maybe he's onto something.
Yeah, Jason, I mean, it's a compelling thought. And something else that I'm trying to think of, too. Every GM is, just like you said, wired a little bit differently. And Goody is wired in his own way. And, we don't get as much time to decipher what Goody's personality is like we do LaFleur and Love and all the players on the roster. So in the context of a trade negotiation, right, Goody with another team, from what you do know of Goody, how would you characterize how he approaches trade negotiations? Would you define him as a wheeler and a dealer? Is he sort of cold with this is our best offer, take it or leave it? From what you do know about in that environment of trade negotiations, how would you describe Goody?
Well, first of all, I think, dating back to Ron Wolf and then through Ted Thompson and now to Goody, like, part of it is they don't get involved right away. Like, that's something that their lieutenants kind of start the process. Like, I always use this example because he's my guy, but John Schneider being the point person on the trade talks for Tony Gonzalez back in 2006, he was the guy. He was the guy talking to the Chiefs at the trade deadline. And he was the one who, said, hey, third-round pick for Tony Gonzalez. Let me make sure that that's okay with Ted Thompson. Okay, we've got a deal. And then Carl Peterson, the GM of the Chiefs, at the final seconds before the draft, before the deadline, said we can't do it for less than a second-round pick. And Ted told John Schneider, forget it. We're not paying. We had an agreement at the third-round pick. We're done. And obviously Tony Gonzalez had a really good career, second career in Kansas City, in Atlanta after being in Kansas City for as long as he did. Reggie McKenzie was the point person. Reggie McKenzie was the point person on the Randy Moss talks with New England, and they thought they had a deal for a fourth-round pick. The only caveat was that Randy Moss wanted a one-year deal, and the Packers wanted at least a two-year deal. And then the Patriots upped their offer and were willing to give him a one-year contract. And so the trade, went, and of course, they were the team that they were, and they ended up going undefeated in the regular season that year. But they were in on that. Like, those are the in on the discussions thing, but I don't think you just give away the farm.
Really?
Right? And
what does that look when you say that? So when you say give away the farm, what is like your limit for that? Because we've been having these conversations, but you're a smart guy. You've been in this business for a very, very long time, award-winning. What does giving away the farm look like to you?
I would say 2 first-round picks.
Oh, Jason.
You wouldn't do 2 first-round picks.
But that's what Khalil Mack. That's what they did for Khalil Mack in Chicago. And granted, the Bears didn't get to a Super Bowl with that, but I feel like the Packers are at a different space and place.
Yeah, I don't think the Packers' brain trust. And again, I haven't talked to Goody about this, but I don't think he's interested in being without a first-round pick for 2 consecutive years. And if you look at his track record, you just asked, is he a wheeler dealer? No, I think they're, traditionally going back to Ron and then Ted, like, I think they're more like me on eBay. Like, okay, here's what I'm willing to pay, or put that in as my maximum bid, and if the bidding goes above it, so be it.
But
I'm not going to pay that much.
But Jason, at what point, do you decide this is the moment, right? Because this feels like an opportunity where everything could align, where you legitimately get a guy, right? We talked about it all this season, last season. The Packers had a lack of pass rush. Now you have a guy that has requested a trade publicly. He wants to go to a contending football team, so that eliminates a lot of football teams. They're probably not going to trade him to the AFC more than likely. I mean, we don't know, but this is a great opportunity for the Packers to finally right the ship and not have the situation where Tony Gonzalez or Randy Moss. Don't you think they should capitalize on this moment?
Well, so if they're such an appealing trade partner, then why would they want to overpay, right? And again, I get it. This is the kind of stuff that people get excited about. I was part of that, right? Like, the idea of them making this kind of blockbuster trade would be a boon for all the things we talk about on the show and all the stories I write and everything else. It would be huge. But again, when you asked me if Goody was a wheeler dealer, the fact of the matter is he hasn't really traded for players at all, right? He's traded away players, right? He's gotten first-round picks for players. He got a first-round pick for Devontae Adams. He got obviously the haul that he got for Aaron Rodgers. There was the one year where he traded during the draft, where he traded back, got a future, I think it was 18 when they drafted Jair. He traded back and got the Saints first-round pick the following year, and then traded back up to go get Jair, and had the extra first-round pick then in 19 when he took Rashawn Gary and then Darnell Savage. So I don't know what he's willing to do. He's not the same person as Ron. He's not the same person as Ted Thompson. And so I don't know, maybe he does look at it and say, okay, this guy, this Kyle Wallace fella, I really enjoyed listening to Brust, to KBN because Brust wasn't on, and I was listening to them, and he made a really good point. This is the moment, so I am going to give up 2 first-round picks. I mean, maybe Goody's willing to do that.
Dave from Juneau did say I was a difference maker, game changer.
Yeah, he said Kyle Wallace was basically the game changer of our radio station that Myles Garrett would be to the Green Bay Packers. Your reaction to that, Jason?
High praise.
It is high praise. I don't know if it's accurate, but it's high praise.
Wow.
Dang, Jason.
Well, I mean, game changer. Like Myles Garrett. Like, couldn't you be? I don't know. Who's another good, but not like.
I want to be Myles Garrett. I want to be a game-changing MVP, Jason. That's what I want to be. I love the comparison, right. And he's very chiseled too. I love that.
He is chiseled.
Yeah, okay. Well, I say this with nothing but love in my heart for you. But, like, the game changers are like, we get John Anderson on our team, who was on SportsCenter for 2 decades, right? We get Brian Bulaga on our team, right, who's been great. Like, you guys have him on every week. You know how good he is. Like, I'm not saying that you're not a Pro Bowl player, but, like, I'm not even Myles Garrett.
Oh, Jason.
Like, and I've been
Go
here
play tug of war, Kyle.
No.
Go play tug of war.
Think about it.
Everybody knows you.
No, think about it. Myles Garrett has been a defensive player of the year. In fact, I believe he's the reigning defensive player of the year until they crown a new one. He's a 6-time All-Pro, 4 times first-team All-Pro. Like, he's, I guess, Tausch. He's definitely not Brust. I would say probably Tausch.
I'll take
No,
that.
He's definitely not Brust.
Brust is Malik Willis.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I was going to say Deshaun Watson, but that was in a different era.
No, don't
do that, Jason. Don't do that.
Jason, I'm going to turn the page on that real quick. My last question.
That's so bad.
I don't want to even go there, but Jason, I do want to.
As a player,
yes,
as a player,
yes, a player,
yes,
nothing off the field.
Yes.
But with this last one, Jason, I do want to know if the Packers were to get Myles Garrett, would he be an immediate impact player that could lead them to being a Super Bowl contender immediately?
Sure. I mean, he could be Reggie White, right? Now, without the change of. Now, let me make sure this is clear because, as avid listeners to our show know, Tausch likes to take things and then simplify them and take out the nuance and the context, and then I look like an idiot. So, like with Xavier McKinney and the gravitational pull he has on his defensive teammates, and the level of talent he has, and the way the team's defensive fortunes changed upon his arrival. He actually had more impact than Charles Woodson did the first year Charles Woodson was here. But, then Tausch makes it sound like I just said he's going to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer like Wood, and I don't think that. But there is the leadership and the connectivity and these young guys looking up to him. I mean, Charles, he's the one who came up with all the different speeches during the playoff run. His words are inscribed inside of the ring. So McKinney has some Charles Woodson qualities. He's not Charles Woodson yet. So now when I say this about Reggie White and Myles Garrett, it's not going to be he changes the way Green Bay is looked at by players throughout the league. That's what happened with Reggie. Reggie came to a place that was viewed as Siberia for everyone else in the league. Wow. They also gave him the most money, and apparently God told him to come here. But he was a franchise-changing player, not only because of what he did on the field, but because of the way he made people think of the Packers. That doesn't apply anymore. The Packers are a perennial contender. They've won Super Bowls. Remember, when he came in 93, the last glory the Packers had was in the Lombardi era 30 years earlier. So that's not what Myles Garrett is going to do. But Reggie White arrived in Green Bay. He had 60-some sacks in 6 years, and he was a really, really good player and pass rusher. He was the defensive player of the year in 1998, his final season. So that's the kind of player that Myles Garrett could be. He's not going to transform how the organization is viewed, but he could be that type of impact player, and that means you're going to have to pay a high price potentially, and if you listen to Kyle Wallace, you're going to do it.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, Jason, so much for joining us here
Thanks,
today.
Jason.
Jason Wilde from Wilde and Taus. You can hear Wilde and Taus 9 to noon weekdays right here on ESPN Wisconsin. Thank you again, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Wow, big exhale.
I disagree. I just don't. If a guy could be, if we're even having a conversation where he could be like Reggie White or be like Charles Woodson, when we got Reggie White, what happened?
Won a Super Bowl.
When we got Charles Woodson, what happened?
Won a Super Bowl.
If he's even in that conversation, that breath, damn it, you take a leap of faith.
There's a finance quote. You know how Strofe said, what was your quote against Strofe about rumors? And
so rumors are what the jealous hope to be true, Bradley.
So profound. And there's another profound thing about when you pay for something. When you pay for something expensive, it's the worst. In that moment, it's the worst you ever feel about it. When you pay for something cheap, in that moment, it's the best you ever feel about it.
You know what? A lot of things going through my head, and let me tell you, I know that to be true. 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talking text line. Less is more. We'll have that, and we'll wrap up this hour coming up pretty soon. You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Norman on the award-winning 101. Dang it, Joe!
Oh my God!
Oh, this is what happened. All right,
This is embarrassing.
I'm looking at the clock, and I know we're tight. And I said we'll wrap up the hour.
Yeah,
we were not right. We got 2 more segments left, and I'm thinking to myself,
this
dang
is not
it.
on 101.7
This
The
is
Truth.
not 101.7 The Truth. This is ESPN Wisconsin. I love you, ESPN Wisconsin. But we'll talk.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
DKB, they get all my love, all my energy, and all my time. I'll be danged if GKB and Craig not going to allow me to take my half an hour boo-boo. If I need to do that, they need to allow me to do that.
That's your whole lunch break.
I don't even take a lunch break. I work during lunch.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It is a hefty ride on southbound 43 right now, just south of Hampton, all the way down through the Marquette. So give yourself tons of extra time there. We've also got some backups westbound 94 right through the stadium interchange to Mitchell Boulevard. And we have on Blue Mound Road westbound a broken down vehicle that's still blocking that right lane just west of Highway 100. Also on the Rock Freeway southbound, we've got a broken down vehicle just south of Moreland Road. Looks like it's just the right shoulder that's blocked. Hopefully it'll get cleared up pretty soon, but there are some delays heading through that neck of the woods as well. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low of 19. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 27. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $1,000 in cash prizes available. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellerson, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a 2-man scramble at TPC Scottsdale, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through February 28th. Your winter chance to play TPC Scottsdale awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
That weird Wisconsin weather is here. Snow one day, sun the next. But you can always count on Tsunami Express to keep your car clean. With 6 locations across southeastern Milwaukee, Tsunami Express helps fight that salt, grime, and mud with powerful vacuums and state-of-the-art wash technology. Technology like their best-in-class T2 with graphene for a long-lasting shine and protection. Stop at any Tsunami Express location and get your first wash free when you sign up online at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Terms and conditions apply. First wash free for new members only.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette recap, I'm Will Summers. The Golden Eagles celebrated National Marquette Day by hosting the 2-time defending champion Yukon Huskies on Saturday. After a slow start to the game, Marquette rallied, putting together a 9-0 run to end the first half, led by Chase Ross.
Chase Ross open 3 is good!
3, how about that? While being able to cut the lead to just 6 in the second half, Marquette was unable to overcome the Huskies' offense, losing 77-69. The Golden Eagles will have a quick turnaround as they head to the Big Apple to battle St. John's on Tuesday.
For more than 40 years, Network Health has been the trusted experts in health plans. Just like you, they're honest, hardworking, and grateful to call Wisconsin home. Whether you're seeking coverage for yourself, your family, or your employees, Network Health has you covered with a range of options, including individual and family marketplace plans, employer plans, and Medicare Advantage plans. Call Steve Fluellen, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Welcome back.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman here on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Wisconsin as well. And we've had a great conversation talking about Myles Garrett as Packers Nation. It seems like it's not 100% consensus.
I'm just shocked, right? Because Jason Wilde, talking about Myles Garrett and what would be too much, he said 2 first-round draft picks would be too much. And even on our polls, whether it be the ESPN Milwaukee poll of should the Packers go all in for Myles Garrett, that poll, 66% yes, 34% no.
We need to ask. I need to know why.
If the Browns just said, okay, Green Bay, if you just give us 2 first-round draft picks, we will give you Myles Garrett. That seems like easy money, especially when you add in Goody's history. I mean, I think we're overvaluing the first-round draft picks, which even if Goody's a good GM, even if you have a good track record with first-round draft picks, they're a flip of the coin.
No,
they're a flip of the coin.
And that was my whole thing.
A sure thing.
Jason was talking about he traded back and he got 2 draft picks. He drafted Quay Walker and Devontae White, and we're questioning whether or not we're going to actually, give them the 5th-year option. They're probably going to give it to them both, but we're questioning that, right? We're talking about guys like Eric Stokes. I don't care. I'd rather have somebody get drafted in that slot who turns into a pretty good football player than pass up on an opportunity to get a guy like Myles Garrett. But Alex Strofe back there in the studio, the producer room. Control room. You said in my ear, Brad, he said he has a poll he wants to put up. What is this poll that you haven't been approved to put up?
It's been approved and it's been put up just moments ago on Twitter at KBN ESPN. Can also get it at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison, at ESPN BD. Would you be willing to trade 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett? Yes or no?
That's an easy yes for me.
It's an easy yes for me, too. I mean, that is especially...
That would be this year and next year. You're both under the assumption of?
Sure.
Yes.
Do it. What do y'all want? 3 first-round picks might be
3's too much.
3's too much.
But 2?
He's a future Hall of Famer. He's an instant game wrecker. He's probably going to win, if not be top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year again. He will be more than whatever 2 first-round draft picks you're going to get. He was the number 1 pick overall in the draft.
Yeah, Goody.
Have you seen him with his shirt off? He looks like a superhero.
Oh, my God.
You're really hooked on how chiseled he is.
Have you seen him struggle?
I get hot and bothered when I look at that man.
To remind yourself
it's ridiculous.
How
I'm not going to do that.
It's unreal. It's okay.
Google
it's unreal.
Myles Garrett chiseled.
I don't know if I can do that on the work Wi-Fi.
You
might get
test
blocked.
You should test it.
Have you tested it?
I haven't, but I want to. I want to test it. I need to get motivated to work out hard again.
Oh, my God.
Have you not been working out or what?
Unreal. I just Googled him.
Slacking.
Oh, okay.
I've been slacking.
Gotcha.
Oh, my God.
He looks like a superhero.
Little bit like a superhero.
He looks more cut than any of the Marvel guys.
6'4.5", rumor has it.
That's unbelievable.
It's taller than me, Kyle. It's taller than Brad.
6'4.5", 265 pounds in all muscle.
God made that man to sack quarterbacks.
He did. He sure did.
And I hope he does it for the green and gold.
I hope he does it for the green and gold. But we've been talking a lot about the Packers. We've been talking about hypotheticals with Myles Garrett, which led me to think about this. There's one man in Wisconsin sports that could generate this type of buzz. And what we saw over the weekend as well, where we saw Luka Doncic get traded for Anthony Davis. We also saw De'Aaron Fox get shipped off to the Spurs. Meanwhile, Zach LaVine ended up in Sacramento. I want to talk about if Giannis will have the fate of those players or if Giannis will be like Kobe. I want to know your thoughts, Brad, but 800-990-3776. That's the Carpless Talk and Text line. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman right here on ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
When I'm, again, doing the Pack Arena, and as a shareholder, when I'm sizing up my ring,
do the Pack Arena right now.
1 pack, 2 pack, 3 pack arena.
Hey. What's the rest of the words? Jordan
been,
loves the Christian Watson. Nay, that's a touchdown.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush-mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
I think the Dallas Mavericks made one of the worst trades I've ever seen in my life. And the reason I say that is because they traded a best player for a second best player. And now they have 2 second best players. That I think what has happened here is that if we're going to look at the Dallas Mavericks side of this, they believe that Luka would have gone wrong at some point. That's clear. For whatever the reason would have been, Luka would have gone wrong.
It's not whatever the reason would have been. The reason is Luka is hurt all the time, and he doesn't take care of his body.
So then they got Anthony Davis. But even if you want to say you get out in front of this, you get out in front of this to get something back where you're not a title contender. In no way, shape, or form are the Dallas Mavericks title contenders. I'd be more. To me, it's more likely they don't make the playoffs than win a title. They're not winning a title. They're not getting to the finals. This is not a finals team by any stretch of the imagination. They got worse now and later.
Lowe's knows that your business is built on speed and trust. That's why the Lowe's Pro Desk is here to get you what you need the moment you need it. We'll help you plan your project, calculate your materials, and pivot when your job takes an unexpected turn. And with our pro-only checkout and dedicated pro parking, you have what you need to tackle your job and be back on the job in no time. Just visit us at the Pro Desk. Lowe's knows pros. We help. You save.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
A weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tune into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Marcus and his son Chris, a 1995 UCLA Hoops champ himself, talk about everything happening in the Bucks world and are joined by the biggest names in basketball. Plus, they'll answer your questions too. Stay on the beat of the Bucks and find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts. We are Kyle, Brust, and Nortman here on ESPN Wisconsin. No Ben Brust today. He's out sick. But you got Brad Nortman and Alex Strofe and myself, Kyle Wallace. Now, we've been talking about Myles Garrett and his trade demand. But also, I don't know if you all saw this weekend, there's a huge trade that happened in the NBA. Two huge trades, but the main one is Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis.
One of the dumbest trades ever.
It has to be.
I want to talk about that because everybody keeps saying that, but I'm trying to figure out why it's the dumbest.
Because you traded a guy who you're worried about his health and taking care of his body for a guy that is historically super injured.
Yeah, I mean,
and further in his career, a big man who's going to be injured more and more.
Does Anthony Davis make the Mavericks closer to a championship this year than Luka does?
They are closer to the basement than they are a title.
So you don't think Anthony Davis can be a game changer, an instant game? Like, granted, Luka is a better basketball player, but
Bingo,
Anthony Davis,
there, end of sentence.
Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving together. Now you have Max Christie, who can play some 3-and-D. Like, they may have solidified themselves for the next two years.
Yeah, they
3
won't
years.
suck. Don't get me wrong. They're probably a 6 seed in the Western Conference, maybe a 5 seed.
Who's closer to a title, LeBron and Luka, or
LeBron
AD?
and Luka.
I don't think so.
What about Bronny?
Oh, okay, that's the problem.
I'm joking.
But speaking of closer to a title, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the reason why the Green Bay Packers are somewhat close to a title. And with what'd I say?
You said the Green Bay Packers.
Thank you.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Thank you, Strofe. The Milwaukee Bucks. And what I want to know is, how does Giannis' career end, right? Because with Luka moving on, AD moving on, and all these guys getting traded, I want to know, will Giannis be more of like a Kobe or Tim Duncan type, or will he one day request a trade like a KD, Russell Westbrook, or James Harden type? So how does Giannis' career end here in Milwaukee? Does he get traded, or does he retire as a Milwaukee Buck?
Was that a subtle shot at the Bucks' opponent tonight, the Oklahoma City Thunder, that you brought up KD, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wish I was that good.
That would have been brilliant.
I caught that, and I was like, they played the Thunder now.
That's why I'm fantastic. I'm the damn Myles Garrett around this mug.
It's really unbelievable that all three of those guys are on the same team at the same time. That is
Myles Garrett's
unbelievable.
a game changer. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, just like Kyle's a game changer on your radio station.
Wow. That was crazy. I was not expecting that.
Me either. I didn't solicit it.
It's high praise.
What can I say, man? I don't solicit it. I just react. I guess we were going to talk about Giannis. And
we're going to have to get to it on the other side.
We have to, because you guys really did throw me off with that whole, you guys think it's the worst trade ever?
I mean,
it's horrible.
Certainly up there.
It's horrible.
I disagree. I definitely disagree. But we'll talk about that on the other side. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. Coming up in Beaver Dam, Alex Strofe. It's the best damn sports show on ESPN Beaver Dam.
Just the damn sports show. But hey, the best damn sports show too. Yeah,
it is. And then on ESPN Madison, we have, is she back yet?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Rutledge, Hamilton, and
let's go Jim, Matt,
and Molly.
You suck at this.
I should have wrote it down. There's a lot of pressure. I couldn't punt in the pressure game or kick in pressure game. There's a lot of pressure to get these titles.
You could never been a kicker.
Jim Madden Molly coming up next on ESPN Madison. I love you, Jim Madden Molly. Hopefully Molly comes back, but we'll have more on the other side. This is KBN.
Sell out with me, oh yeah. Sell out with me tonight.
Southbound on 43, a slow ride from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94 slowing down from 27th Street all the way past Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, we've got delays from about 68th Street all the way to about 35th. And southbound 41 backing up from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low of 19. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 27. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play TPC Scottsdale for a chance to win cash through the 28th. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
We them boys. We them boys.
It's the Faux One Faux Hour at Faux on KBN.
Shout out to Brad.
Pretty good. I've come a long way.
So I was rushing in here because I had to get my Kleenex, and there's a young Boy Scout out there who's, as Brad had told me before, he speaks so eloquently and clear.
Eloquent. He speaks like a 35-year-old, and he's probably 7.
I told him, have fun on the show. He said, I will. I said, oh, okay now, young king. I see you. The 414 hour at 4. It was decent. It was good. It was good. I like it. I wouldn't have you redo it or anything like that.
I like it. That's a success for me then.
You definitely did good. Stroke, I'm shocked you didn't want to do it. I know you wanted to. The 414 at 4?
I wanted Brad to do it. He's better at it. Hey, by the way, breaking news, Molly Brown is back today.
Hey! Welcome back, Molly Brown. The show is not complete. Was she gone for 3 months?
Apparently.
I believe that is maternity leave. It's 3 months here.
Man, I hope men get 3 months.
No, you get 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
That's correct.
I thought it was 3.
Yeah, I think it's 10 days. It might be actually a week.
I think it's 10.
Actually, it might be 5 days.
10 days?
No, it's 10 because we have a new father upstairs who returned today after 2 weeks.
That's a whole nother thing.
Dang.
When I worked at a different place, they got 3 months, and I just couldn't wait.
Real quick, you're the last person that gets to complain. You have more off time than anybody else on the show combined.
You don't know that.
Well, I do. I do.
Yeah, I wonder how many days you do have. I have quite a few days.
I got some days.
I don't use them.
Here's what I think happened.
I have weeks.
I think Brad still has his NFL agent, and he negotiated his radio contract.
He did. I negotiated by my dang self.
They said, Brooks, go talk to him.
Yeah, they put it in my face. I said, I get to be on the radio. Where do I sign?
I said, hey, you can have these days off back. I just want to be here.
Yeah. I said, they came to me with their first offer. I said, ha! Double it.
Oh boy, I'm a sucker, 100% a sucker. But on the other side,
but it's good to be here. I love showing up to work.
I know you do.
It's too
Brad.
many days, really.
Yeah,
it's too many days.
I'm sure. As you get ready to take a fantastic vacation in the next,
which I am taking this week. So I'm off Thursday, Friday, and Monday.
You made it a month.
Cool. I made it a month.
Or did
That's
you?
grinding.
Actually, you didn't come back right after New Year's.
Oh, that's true. I did have off. I did have off earlier in January.
I'm taking me some vacation too. I'm going to take some vacation.
You should take some vacation.
I will. But this is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman here on ESPN Wisconsin. Now just ESPN Milwaukee, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Strofe, I did good, right?
You did your job.
I did good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we've been talking about Myles Garrett nonstop today because that is a big, big thing for the Packers because this isn't just like any old guy. This is a guy that can absolutely be a game changer, a game wrecker, and somebody that can catapult the Packers into Super Bowl contention. And I truly do believe the Packers are going to, kick the tires and find out what they could potentially get for Myles or what they have to give to get Myles Garrett.
Real quick, before we move on to Giannis, yes or no, the Packers make the trade for Myles Garrett when it's all said and done?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I think the Packers are going to be willing to give up. Listen, he talked about sense of urgency. This is the moment. This is the time. Like everything, the stars are aligned. If you're good and you think about, I had this great plan, and finally when you said it's year 3 of this plan, and you got you a safety, you got you a running back, you got you a quarterback, you got all these different guys, and all of a sudden, the one piece that you are truly missing, there's some holes, but the one piece where you said these guys got to get better. You fired the defensive line coach, right? Like obviously there's a glaring hole there. All of a sudden, Myles Garrett says, I request a trade. He should say, this is perfect. This is a sign. This means I know I need to go get Myles Garrett. That's what it is. Year 3 of his plan, he wants a guy, and now he can get him in Myles Garrett.
Kyle, everything you said is true. And I think Goody's very tempted by it, and it would align perfectly with the Super Bowl window, and it's the exact hole the Packers need to make them a championship defense. I think the negotiation will outpace what the Packers are willing to do. I think there's going to be another team that is a little bit looser with their purse than the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to come back to Goody and say, okay, Team XYZ, they're offering this and this. This will get it done. And he'll say, too much.
This is an organization that up until like the last 2 drafts with Goody as the general manager, his 3rd-round pick sucked. Right? Like, this is an organization that drafted B.J. Sanders. No shot at punters. But I mean,
bad draft,
but what I'm saying is this Packer, we've made mistakes with draft picks. Give me the surefire winner and surefire guy who got votes, like you said, for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Like, give me him.
I
hope
love
you're right.
your optimism.
I put it at a 10% chance.
I'm with you, Brad. I think it is slim, unfortunately.
Well,
as much as I think it would be complete malfeasance to not at least do your due diligence and look into it and maybe even give an offer or two.
Okay,
I just don't think it's.
And I'm telling you, if it's 2 first-round draft picks or less, and it's not the Packers, we pick it. We pick it 1265.
We all go. We ride at dawn, KBN Nation. I'm so serious, but this is my thing. As somebody who's bought a house, right?
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Very cool.
Cool.
And a lot of times when it comes down to negotiations, you just have to say, how bad do we want it, right? And for me, when I purchased a house, I knew that there was a neighborhood I wanted. My lady liked the house. I liked the house. I knew the house could bring me value in the future as well. So I said, well, heck, I'll pay a little bit more. I'll pay a little bit more over list price because I know 5 to 10 years from now, if I sell it, I'm going to make my money back. And also, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to make memories. I'm going to make dreams. So if you overpay for Myles Garrett today, do you think in 2030 we're going to be talking about, boy, that Myles Garrett, we sent that 2025 and 2026 first-round draft pick on him, but we went to a Super Bowl. I really wish we would have had those draft picks. No, the Packers are better off with the player that they know is proven than the guys that we don't know if they're going to turn out.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, it's an amazing analogy because I'm right there with you. I mean, for anyone that's bought a house, usually there's something in the negotiation that you don't love. It's a clause here or there. It's an asking price, whatever it is. And you know what? It stinks when you have to wire that closing money to the seller. Like, that hurts. That hurts the bank account. But you know what's an invaluable feeling? is putting the keys in your hand, right? The keys in your hand.
Do you not have regular keys, Brad?
I don't. I just got a garage door opener, and I got some keys in there. But that's the sound of keys in your hand. Walking through that front door, you get to make a house a home, and the memories in there. You never think about sending that closing cash ever again, because all the memories that follow far outweigh that one moment in time. And that's what would happen with Myles Garrett. The memories of success and Super Bowls, it would far outweigh the feeling of losing 1 or 2 draft picks, probably 2 draft picks. So I'm right there with you. I just fear that Goody, a little too cheap. His budget for housing is a little too tight than to go and outpay the rest of the market.
Yeah, I hope you guys are wrong, and I hope I'm right. I hope this is something where last year he shocked and surprised us with the fact that he signed Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs, and I hope this year he shocks us and he does the obvious, where the Packers have the wherewithal to be able to get Myles Garrett, so they should go and get him. But we were talking NBA trade because this weekend, what are you laughing about? I get why Ben is just sitting there. What are you smiling for? Why are you so happy?
I'm just happy to be here, Kyle.
Oh, I'm glad you are happy to be here, Strofe Alexander.
That's not my name.
Okay, Alexander.
My name is not Alexander.
Prove it. You can't prove it to me, so.
Yes, I can. I have an ID in my pocket.
Oh, you just put the short name on there.
That's my legal name is Alex.
Who cares? What is your comment?
Clearly you do.
What is your comment before we transition to talk about the Bucks and NBA?
Well, I was laughing because at 4:01 you said, and we're talking about the Bucks, and it is now 4:09, and we've not talked about the Bucks yet.
Okay, you know what? I don't run a tight ship. Okay, I'm a little bit more free than Ben Brust.
A little more loosey goosey.
Yeah,
no, I like that.
Yeah,
I like the chaos of Kyle.
I'm the hippie of the station, right? Yeah, exactly. I like the chaoticness. I like the just go with the flow type of guy, man. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to go left, we'll go left. You want to zig right, I'll go right, man. I'm not gonna rock the boat.
Right, I will say there is usually. We don't get this when Kyle hosts the show. We'll go way over our normal stopping points because sometimes when Ben's hosting the show, which is all the time, we're talking and we're rolling. And he goes like this.
Yeah,
like a chop motion.
Can we be honest?
Stop talking.
So
we got to go to break.
He's either going to interrupt you or he's going to tyrant end the segment.
The throat.
The throat.
Yeah.
The throat slice to say stop talking. We got to go to break, or a horizontal chop of the hand.
All right, so we're going to get to Giannis. We're going to get to this Bucks trade. But can we just be honest for a second? As a grown man, it was an adjustment I had to make for another grown man to sit there when I'm getting ready to make a point, go, no. I'm like, damn, man, hold on, wait a minute. You just said all that, and then you go, me? Hell no. And so it took some adjustment. I'm being vulnerable right now. I'm being honest.
Okay.
It took a little bit. Am I the only one that was like, oh, this shut up type thing, this is a lot?
Yeah, there'll be times we have a guest on, and I'll say into Ben's ear, because we have the capability to do that. Hey, Ben, I got one more for him. He'll look at me, shake his head, and say, no, you got to go. Just like, okay, I guess I'm not asking it then.
Strofe, you ever had that situation? Shout out to Ben Brust. I love
we miss you, Ben. We miss you. Help you feel better.
I don't know if I have as much grievances to air as it seems you two do, but also you two are in the same room as him. Your names are on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just here pushing buttons and trying to give the show some direction most of the time. But you two seem like you've got some beef that you've let fester.
It's not beef. I appreciate. I will say this for the record. I appreciate the consistency and the structure because I love consistency and structure.
Yeah,
you don't get that with Kyle.
Yeah, with Kyle, it's like the substitute teacher is in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, we're not really sticking to we're kind of sticking to the study plan, but, we're throwing paper airplanes and, we're leaving before the bell.
Yeah, Brad loves when the substitute teacher, he just talk. He ain't nobody going to tell him to stop. All right, that's all you got to say, Brad?
That's all I got to say on that.
So, again, we finally got to get to the Bucks because I really do want to talk about this Giannis thing, but also I want to sprinkle in Jimmy Butler and I want to sprinkle in this trade because when I look at this, I don't understand why you guys think that trading an all-star for an all-star is a bad thing. And when I look at the Milwaukee Bucks, I think they have an opportunity to trade a past all-star for a past all-star that could impact this roster.
All right, we'll save it, but you can't be that obtuse.
Obtuse.
Obtuse. Wow.
How wide am I? What do you mean obtuse?
That's
180 degrees or more?
That's a very, very wide angle.
Yeah, we could talk about it next, but first, Brad is going to tell us about his friends from Tsunami Express.
Ooh, I would love to tell you about Tsunami Express because you're probably like me. You're driving down the street and you're seeing cars look I'm going to say it, they look hideous. They look hideous, full of salt and grime and sand and all the things that Wisconsin uses, rightfully so, to combat the snow on the ground. But it does a number on your car. I mean, it eats away at the paint, the exterior, the inside, the whole thing. And I have the solution for you. It's Tsunami Express Car Wash. I just went there the other day. My car was full of salt. I have a black car, so it makes it look obvious. And I walked out, and it looked like I just drove it off the lot. I was driving down the street, and it was the apple of all the eyes of all the rest of the cars on there because it looked squeaky clean. And you can only get that with Tsunami Express Car Wash. They have their newest technology, which is T2 with graphene, which gives you the ultimate shine and the longest lasting protection. That on top of the powerful free vacuum stations, the state-of-the-art wash technology that keeps your car looking great. You don't have to salt on the road or whatever. They will look unbelievable with Tsunami Express Car Wash. And listen to this, KBN Nation. New location coming for Tsunami Express. There's already several convenient locations around Milwaukee. But listen up, Oak Creek. You are getting a Tsunami Express Car Wash as well. It's opening up on February 12th on 6900 South 27th Street, right next to Menards. And the grand opening celebration is on February 12th to the 23rd. You don't want to miss out. In fact, KBN Nation is going to be there. We are doing our show from there on Valentine's Day from Tsunami Express in Oak Creek. You can get free washes during the grand opening. So much to celebrate with Tsunami Express, including a beautiful washed car. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
We'll have more after the break. NBA trade talk, Milwaukee Bucks talk. Will Giannis retire a Buck? We'll have that and so much more. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman right here on ESPN Milwaukee.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
I'm a seam head now. You can call me whatever you want.
Seam head?
I don't even know what that is.
That means I'm a baseball dork. All I do is sit and watch MLB big inning at night.
Seam head.
I've never heard that before.
This is because you're not a seam head.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Well, we got an issue on 894 westbound to go northbound on 9443. Right lane's blocked with some debris. Looks like it might have been either a traffic barrel or a garbage can. They're getting it out of traffic, so hopefully it'll be opened up pretty soon. Southbound on 43, backing up from Capitol Drive all the way down over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94's got some backups from 27th Street to Hawley Road. And eastbound 94 also slowing down a bit from 70th Street all the way to about 35th. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles, now offering a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing in raspberry, chocolate silk, cherry, and pecan flavors. Order at Kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 19. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 27. Weather's brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It's the perfect Valentine's heart.
The kind a schoolboy would draw.
It's the most adorable pendant we've ever created.
Innocent, fun-loving, and sweeter than honey.
Cute, cute, cute.
It's cherry red ceramic that's been through the fire.
We've been making ceramic jewelry for thousands of years.
Seriously?
Google it.
But this ceramic heart has things they didn't know about thousands of years ago.
Like what?
Diamonds. 18 of them.
These created diamonds were made for the one who sparkles like the sun.
I can see her in my mind right now.
It's the perfect Valentine's gift.
And it's only $128 at Kessler's.
Monica, what else do we have?
We have 4 different ways to say I love you.
Each pendant is a different shape covered in diamonds.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
An oval.
a square with rounded corners, a teardrop, and a heart.
Your choice, just $148 at Kessler's. For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? Hims can help. Get started at hims.com/joy. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Oh, I love to be shocked like an electric eel. And you're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman right here on ESPN Milwaukee. What are you laughing for?
I don't know that anybody's ever signed under the radio by saying, "Oh, I love being shocked like an electric eel."
I do. I don't know
Is that the lyric?
Same like an electric
Ooh, girl,
eel.
you shock me like an electric eel. Yeah.
What a wild lyric. What
Well,
a
I'm
wild...
pretty sure this song came out prior to the tragic death of Steve Irwin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes me feel like a hippie. It makes me feel like I'm somebody I'm
It makes
not.
you feel.
No, I'm serious.
That
Like,
does.
No, like when you hear this song, it makes me feel like something I'm not. Like I know I'm not an edgy guy. I'm pretty straightforward. I'm straight edge. You know, I don't really take a lot of risk. But when I hear this song, I feel free.
Doesn't straight edge mean you don't drink alcohol?
I know. I'm not
I think,
that
I think
edge.
it's more generic for
Yeah.
like how you live your life.
I'm pretty basic.
Oh, okay.
Straight edge. It could be though.
I only know that because of CM Punk, the WWE rep.
All right, we're going down a path that some people do know, but that I do not know. And finally, I want to get to this. All right.
Okay, let's get to it.
And so I want to start off with this trade, right? Because AD gets traded for Luka, and that makes people just think, oh, the Milwaukee Bucks, for at least here in Milwaukee, what are the Milwaukee Bucks going to do? But also, Luka is no longer going to end his career in Dallas, and with how good he is, only being 25 years old, that would be like a franchise cornerstone. So when we look at Giannis, does it make you ponder and think, will Giannis end his career with the Milwaukee Bucks? Do you think Giannis will either end his career retiring as a Milwaukee Buck, or does he end his career getting traded?
See, my take is he will retire a Buck. I believe that the Bucks will remain loyal to him. They will appreciate what he did not only for the franchise, but for the district of like the Deer District, the city, the state, bringing a championship to Wisconsin. I mean, he legitimately changed the complexion and trajectory of the entire franchise. And then that spilled over to have the entire city and state benefit from the relevance and from what he does on the basketball court to bring the Bucks success. So I just cannot see, even if he's 35 years old and he's not healthy and the whole thing, his DNA laced within the Milwaukee Bucks is more valuable than any sort of reset, any sort of, trading for assets, anything of starting over. I would rather wring Giannis's career dry as a Milwaukee Bucks and get every single ounce of Giannis that I can than opposed to trying to, buy low and sell high type of thing and being able to move on. Now, my one concern is My one concern is not the Bucks trading Giannis like what the Mavericks did to Luka. Like, okay, here we go. We're going to flip this dude. My concern is the Bucks not making enough smart moves, putting a trash team around Giannis, and Giannis in a year or two being, listen, everyone here is young. They're trash. We're not winning a championship with this team. And I still got years of prime left. So I want to go someplace else. And Giannis even said in the wake of this Luka trade that basically it works both ways. A player can be loyal to an organization, but they can also leave. But an organization can also be disloyal to a player, because a player like Luka did everything he could for Dallas, bought a $15 million home in Dallas a week ago. And
dang, he bought a house in Dallas.
One week ago, bought a $15 million house. Can you believe that? And he gave himself to the city, and without him knowing, traded him. So Giannis might have the same type of feeling. Well, if organizations can be that disloyal to players, then why can't players look out for themselves too? So that's my greatest fear, and I think the greatest impediment to Giannis finishing his time as a Buck is him looking around, the team not doing enough to put him a great talent around him. They're not a championship team, and he's saying, well, the rest of these teams aren't loyal. Why shouldn't I do what's right for me too? And here's what I'll say. I wouldn't blame him. I could, even if Giannis wants out, I could never be mad at Giannis.
Yeah, so, Brett, I'm going to tell you why I think that Giannis leaves Milwaukee in a trade. He won't retire Milwaukee Buck, because as we're talking about draft picks, there's something here in Wisconsin. I don't know if it's something in the air, but first-round draft picks for our major sports teams, such as the Milwaukee Bucks and the Green Bay Packers, first-round picks just have not been our thing the last decade. They have not been our thing. We have not been able to find somebody via the draft, right, through a first-round pick to be the Robin to Giannis's Batman. Right? That is a big issue. If the Bucks were able to draft successfully, if they just drafted in 2 drafts since 2015, if they were able to draft 2 players that could contribute to the roster in the first round, the Bucks would be in a whole different situation where you're not talking about having to get Damian Lillard or have these rumors about who else they're going to grab. Chris Middleton being old, you're able to move on from some of those guys because of the fact that you have young blood coming up. So when I look at this, it's the Milwaukee Bucks are not going to be able to keep Giannis because John Horst, the general manager, has the inability to actually draft guys that are actually developing and get a chance to play and are the next up-and-coming guys, right? And Giannis is going to think about what is his second act. And that's what this last draft, when they drafted the 2 young guys, A.J. Johnson and Tyler, what's Tyler's last name? Strofe?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The Bucks drafted in the second round. They got Tyler Smith. Thank you so much. And so they drafted these young guys because they're trying to prepare them to be part of Giannis's second act, right? But if these guys don't turn out, Giannis is going to ass out. Because when we look at the fact that Damian Lillard's going to be 35 years old coming up this year, he's getting older. Chris Middleton, let me tell you, he can barely move. I honestly,
33 going on 43.
I think that I can play half the defense Chris Middleton plays in the NBA, and that should not be said. All right, that should not be said. Chris Middleton cannot. He's limited, man, and he's coming off ankle injuries. He got knee injuries, so he's limited. So when you look at the future of the Milwaukee Bucks, so Brook Lopez is playing all these minutes. He's 36 years old. So all of this team, the core of this team, is not going to be here 2 to 3 years from now. And we don't know what's coming behind Giannis. And so with that, Giannis is going to have to make a decision of what he wants to do. And the Bucks are also going to have to make a decision what is in the best interest of the organization. They may have to say, you know what, Giannis, we are sorry. John Horst and the organization, they failed. They failed at making sure that there were the next up-and-coming players coming up because you no longer have assets to trade. Giannis becomes the only asset in order to trade him away in order to build this basketball team back up. And so I believe that Giannis will not retire Milwaukee Bucks, how hard that is. But I still appreciate everything he has done for this organization. He is special. He has made us great, and he brought us a championship. But come 2028, 2029, he may not be a Milwaukee Buck.
The other hard part is in between now and 2028, 2029, the Bucks have like no draft picks. So they really, and they're pushing up against all the luxury tax, which is complicated. They basically have no real ability to remake this roster, right? They have to hope that some of these guys take stratospheric jumps to be the next level guys, but we just don't see that happening. So if it gets to that point where the Bucks do trade Giannis or Giannis asks out because the team around him is so bad, are you going to blame him for it?
No, I won't. Like, if he asks out like next season, I'll be upset because obviously we'll probably still have Damian Lillard, and I think the Bucks are going to do something in order to still have a chance. But if he looks around and Chris Middleton is, coming off the bench still, right? and Damian Lillard decides that his experiment in Milwaukee and being in the Midwest is over and he wants to go back to the West Coast and end his career out that way, I can get mad at Giannis for saying, I don't want to be part of a loser. I don't. I'm 30 years old now, right? My best days may be behind me. The way I play basketball, how aggressive I am, I don't know how long I'm going to hold up. I don't think he's like a LeBron James. Giannis is probably more, by 35, Giannis might be done, right? Like his body's going to be deteriorating. He may not be able to do this. I hope that's not the case because these guys play longer, but he's aggressive. He gets beat up night in and night out.
Well, he gives it all. He takes no nights off, and if he plays, he is playing full on. And honestly, too, the way his game is structured, if he doesn't have that, if he doesn't have the physicality, the presence inside, yes, he started to develop a bit of a mid-range, but there's not a lot of finesse to Giannis's game. So at 35, he might not be done, but he probably won't be he certainly won't be the player he is now. And I'm not sure his game ages very well. So if he asks for that, even if it's 2 years away, I can't be mad at Giannis. He gave us a championship, and there is nobody that plays basketball like Giannis. There's nobody that gives it all like he does. A random Monday night in January, and he's going to play as hard as he possibly can.
Yep.
His passion, his humility. We'll never have it again. So I want to appreciate it. And if you're right and the inevitable trade occurs, I'd be heartbroken because I want him to retire a buck, but I think you talked me into it, Kyle.
800-990, glad I can do that. What did the guy say? I'm what? He said I'm the next great.
The game changer?
Game changer. That's what game changers do, man. They change minds.
Myles Garrett's a game changer. That's why. I mean, just like Kyle's a game changer on your radio station.
He doesn't, man, listen.
What an absolutely unexpected comment.
Dave from Juneau, he don't know how much I needed to hear that today. I've had a day.
Game changer, Kyle.
I've had a day between emails per my last email and per my previous show. Let me tell you.
People aren't reading your emails or what?
I guess I'm not reading their emails, but that's neither here nor there.
Well,
we ain't going to go down that. We ain't going to go.
You hit somebody with a per my last email?
No, somebody hit him with a per my last email.
I would never.
Coming at Kyle.
I would never hit somebody with that. I don't do that passive-aggressive.
You've never said passive-aggressive commentary?
Aggressive. No, I stand on business, but damn, I'm like, dang, people's elbow me. I said, damn, boom, I got beat up today.
Per my last email.
Beat up today, but 800-990-3776. That's the Carbless talk and text line. Less is more. We want to know, how does Giannis' career end in Milwaukee? Does it end in a trade or does it end with retirement? 800-990-3776. Again, that is the Carbless talk and text line. Also, remember, you guys can watch the streamers live on ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Yes, go to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and watch and stream us live. But on the other side, it's going to be Stroh's time to shine. But before we get to becoming relevant with Alex Stroh, I want to tell you guys about UWD. UWD is fantastic, and February is here. And you know what that means? It means love is in the air. But if you're not in love with your way your home feels this winter, Universal Windows Direct has the perfect solution for you with their Love Your Windows sale. Yes, Love Your Windows sale. If you're feeling the chills from those drafty windows and watching energy bills climb, it's time to make a change. Universal Windows Direct has a deal you cannot resist. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. You need 4 windows, you pay for 2, then you get 2 more. It's a perfect way to save big while upgrading your home. And that's not all. Universal Windows Direct is offering no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months of easy payments with 0 interest. I literally went in to go pay mine, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I don't even have to pay it right now because 0 interest for the next 3 years. So it's a great deal. Actually, I ended up getting 5 years. So it's a great deal, and it's the best deal around. So here's what I love. Here's what I want you to know. You'll love Universal Windows just like me because the windows last longer, they perform better, and they keep your home more comfortable. Call them today at 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Yeah, let them do it. I ain't doing it.
You're not going to hurt our feelings.
No, come on.
Just mine.
Homer, come on.
Yo, suck. I should be doing this time. I should be 2-6. That good enough for you? You need any more?
That's fair.
Need any more?
One? Us?
Yeah.
Y'all
2, 3, 4.
You're all the same.
There we go.
Nobody's as good as me.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Southbound on 43, backing up right now from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. The northbound side's backing up from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Burleigh. Westbound 94, you got delays from about 27th Street all the way to Holly Road. Eastbound's got some backups from 70th Street all the way through to about 35th. And southbound on 41, heavy ride from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. It's a pretty typical delay for this time of day. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 19. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 27. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at PaysBig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
James Imaging Systems. Local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizan, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Come see Pal at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pal Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle, Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian. Taste what all the screaming is about.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You are grooving with Kyle, Brust, and Nortman here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. I wish we were getting turned up here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. You know what? Can we get more hip-hop or something like that? I mean, or some more rock and roll or something fun?
Hey, Mr. Irrelevant. It's time to become relevant. Stroph's time to shine on KBN starts now.
So how does it start? Do you just jump in or do I throw it to you?
How many times has this segment been done while you're on the show?
I kind of sit there and I know, like, each segment I know what I'm supposed to do. And so I just mentally prepare differently each segment. This is a taxing, exhausting thing. So, like, a lot of times when this comes to Mr. Irrelevant, I just know I'm going to sit there.
Here's the thing. You are an incredibly talented individual.
Oh, my gosh.
You're playing really stupid today, and it's a bit irritating.
Wait a minute now. Whoa.
Brad, you've noticed this, right? He's like, oh, well, I don't know how to do this. Like, dude, you've been on this show for a year and a half. You've hosted it many times.
Listen, I don't think y'all understand. The way my brain works is the only thing I know about becoming relevant is it's time for him to become relevant. Alex, every time, you can watch me on YouTube, every single time you will see me mouth that. Same thing with over-under. I start moving my shoulders. Yeah.
So you have very much siloed your role on KBN. Like, you are this chair that I'm sitting in, and all the things that Ben would normally do, and you are just like completely out of mind.
Yeah, sometimes I forget the contestant's name for "Are You Smarter Than Ben Brust?" Because I know what my role. My role is to react, laugh, and then give grief to Ben. Listen, that's what my role is. We all got to know our role. I'm a good role player, and I could be a star according to you guys.
But the thing is,
game changer.
It seems like you don't trust us.
Oh, like you're pulling the T word.
What do you mean I don't trust you? Where is this coming from, these issues?
This segment started and you're like, well, how does it work? Like, I got you. I'm not going to drive you into the ditch.
Well, I didn't know if I'm supposed to throw to you or because usually what happens is that, Ben throws it to you and you play it, or you make some comment and just play, but you just play it, so I don't know if I'm supposed to tease you and set you up or what I'm supposed to do.
You all right? Oh. You having a bad day?
I know. My day's... Listen, I'm a game changer.
You said before, yeah, you're a game changer, but you're getting per my last emails. You all right?
I'm good.
Rattled?
No, that's in the past now. I took my time to calm down. Never send an email angry or upset or emotional.
Wise, very wise.
Yeah. That's how you get in trouble. Sometimes you just got to talk it out with people and then you feel better.
Ben Johnson, the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, his contract information starting to come out, which includes the fact he will be making $13 million per season, according to ESPN NFL Nation reporter Courtney Cronin. That is over double what Matt LaFleur makes on an annual basis.
That's desperation right there. That is Chicago Bear desperation written all over it. Is he the highest paid head coach in the NFL?
I don't think so. He's
not
up there.
He's top
probably
five,
higher, like McVay or Andy Reid.
I think McVay might be less.
When you are... when you're like a guy who's desperate and you're trying to get the girl, and I guess if you have the funding to do it, you take her to the nicest restaurant and you buy her. I mean, just you embarrass yourself, honestly, trying to flaunt your finances.
I love my girl, but I ain't spending $3 on her.
Exactly, Kyle.
I've taken her to dinner.
Highest paid head coach in the league. Rightfully so, Andy Reid, number one, at $20 million a year.
$20 million, so that's worth it.
Sean Payton, $18 million.
I can't believe Sean Payton getting paid that much.
Mike Tomlin, third, 16. Tied with Jim Harbaugh, also 16. And then Sean McVay, 15. And then it's Ben Johnson at 13.
They're all playoff teams, honestly.
Yeah, those are all legit coaches. I have a hard time saying that none of those people are worth
actually,
it. But Bears are desperate.
All five of them made the playoffs this year. You're totally right, Kyle.
Matt LaFleur is a bargain.
$6 million.
$6 million, yeah.
He needs to renegotiate his contract.
No, he doesn't. He's good. $6 million goes a long way in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Why do you care? He deserves more.
We need to save every penny.
He deserves way more.
We need to save every penny.
He might be in the bottom half
save
of the
every
NFL.
penny for what? It doesn't count against the cap.
Well, the Green Bay Packers
it doesn't go to an owner.
It doesn't go to an owner, but they're going to be knocking on my door asking me to buy more stock.
Okay, first off, you choose to buy stock. They don't require it. You're not actually an owner.
Yeah, and it's not like...
I am a shareholder.
It's not like if they offer new stock, your stock gets diluted.
Right, and it's not like... it's also not like they're going, hey, Kyle, we need $30 million now.
Why are y'all trying to kill me right now?
Kyle, we need $100.
Can I have something, anything? Why y'all trying to take my joy? I am owner.
Speaking of the Bears, Jalen Johnson participating in the Pro Bowl festivities over the weekend, including the flag football game yesterday. One thing you'll notice different between Jalen Johnson and literally every other player participating is that Johnson wore his jersey shirt backwards, featuring the last name Johnson on the front of his jersey shirt rather than the back. D-bag move or no?
Yeah, it absolutely is. This is a look at me moment.
Absolutely.
Right? It's a big time look at me moment.
Actually, the thing, Brad, that irritates me more than anything else is not the fact even that he wore his name forward, right? That is a very look at me, pick me thing to do. But The guy has the most common last name in NFL history, right? There are more Johnsons in league history than there are Smiths, etc. He's wearing a jersey shirt backwards with the most common last name in NFL history.
It's a bizarre move amongst other stars of the NFL, right? I mean, like, what a weird place to, like, desire the spotlight and attention among your other high-profile and high-performing colleagues. It's just bizarre to me. I feel like I'd look at that and be like, dude, what are you doing? Don't be a clown.
I think you guys are kind of over-exaggerating here because he's a Bear. First and foremost,
if McKinney wore it backward and you were at the show,
they had hats on. They had on shades. They had on chain. Like, they were
but he is trying to garner attention.
That was the style we used to wear our jerseys backwards, our shirts backwards with our name on the front. Like, I think I did that with my Ben Wallace jersey. I bought it because I had Wallace on it. Like, I wanted to put the Wallace on the front.
You're desperate to put your name on the front.
No, it's fun. It's a stupid game. The Pro Bowl is a waste of time. He was having fun. I don't like the Chicago Bears, but I'm not about to get on this guy for that. And plus, Jalen Johnson, when Christian Watson went down, he was right there next to Christian Watson. So I ain't mad at the guy.
And then moments later, he was flipping the bird to Lambeau Field.
Oh, he did when he left off the field. Oh, yeah.
Same guy.
If it was Rashawn Gary or Xavier McKinney or Josh Jacobs, if it was either one of them, I'd be like, dude, what are you doing?
I don't like that.
You're not holding yourself for the Packers up to like what looks like a good image.
It was a T-shirt. You guys are just too tough.
I don't think so.
Well, tell us about QC Kinetics, Brett.
Yeah, I mean, you said too tough. I'll tell you what is too tough. That is living life with joint pain. Your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back. That joint pain keeping you from living the life you want to live. In fact, yesterday, the days in the mid-40s, you can go out there and take a walk and enjoy the beautiful nature, but you can't do that unless you visit my friends at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is your go-to location for groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain, pain from an injury, whatever it is. They will give you that long-term relief that has been so elusive in your life. Because you can be like one of the thousands of QC Kinetics patients that have been able to benefit from their regenerative state-of-the-art treatments that are sweeping the nation, and they're right here in Milwaukee. When I went there, they met me right where I was with figuring out how are you feeling, personal plan to get you to where you need to be. All the testimonials I've heard, including a woman in my neighborhood, said pain-free living is the only way to go. Thank you, QC Kinetics. It was something of a miracle, their experience at QC Kinetics. So that joint pain, you do not have to live with it any longer. No downtime, no surgery, no steroids, no shots. They're going to give you exactly what you need to feel better and to get your life back in order. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Future Packers Hall of Famer Brian Bulaga joins us next, and we will talk to him about how an impactful elite defensive end can absolutely wreck a game and cause so many challenges for offensive linemen. Boy, I can't wait to talk to Brian Bulaga. This is Kyle Brust and Nortman next on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman.
He now is off his rocker saying it. Well, if I played...
Choke artists. Choke artists, choke artists, choke artists. That's what you both are. Yeah, I said it. You both are choke artists.
Losers, choke artists.
That's what you are. You choked against TCU. You choked against Oregon. You choked against Kentucky. Y'all choked against Duke. I can keep going.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Wallace for Universal Windows Direct. February is here and love is in the air, but if you're not in love with the way your home feels this winter, Universal Windows Direct has the perfect solution with their Love Your Windows sales event. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Need 4 windows, you pay for 2. It's the perfect way to save big while upgrading your home. Schedule your free in-home estimate or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Hungry? Quick Trip's got you. Food's here, and it's hot and ready. Check out our appetizers, like crispy tornadoes, packed with bold fillings that'll keep you coming back for more. And experience Quick Trip Zesty Mini Tacos, bite-sized, big flavor, and totally irresistible. No dinner plans? Take home and bake a freshly made Cheese Mountain Pizza. So easy and delicious. Fuel up at your ultimate destination for snacks and meals that hit the spot. Only at Quick Trip.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Don't miss a day of nonstop basketball action at the Deer District Prep Showcase on Saturday, February 8th at Fiserv Forum. Catch all the exciting plays as 10 high school boys basketball teams hit the court. Watch 5 games featuring state-powered Kettle Moraine along with Nicolet, Milwaukee Juneau, Kohler, Sun Prairie East, and Racine Park. General admission tickets are just $15 and are valid for all 5 games. See the full schedule and get your tickets today at FiservForum.com. Be there for the Deer District Prep Showcase on Saturday, February 8th.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know.
Oh, you know what that music means? I got some famous friends, and my most famous friend is Brian Bulaga, and he joins us here right now on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Brian, how you doing today? No Ben Brust, just me and Brad.
No. How we doing, man? I'm good. I'm just back on a Monday. You know it.
Yes, back on a Monday. And boy, Brian, what a weekend it was. I mean, the NBA trade, I know we're going to get into the big news, but where were you when you found out about the Luka AD trade this weekend?
I mean, I remember I just turned on the TV and I saw it and I was like, what? I kind of was like, is that proposed? And then I just kept watching. I'm like, that's a real thing. That actually happened. And then I saw they put up AD's age and I was like, is that he's 32 and the Luka guy's 25? I go, that's a real trade. They actually did that. I was like, they really made that trade. Wow. They
really made the trade. And that really was compounded now in the NFL universe as defensive end and reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. And, Brian, we all know that is a position that is coveted by the Green Bay Packers. So that leads me to ask you, is there any limit in the attempt for the Green Bay Packers that you think, anything that the Packers should not do in order to get Myles Garrett in the green and gold next year?
Yeah, so I saw this come about across the old ticker. What was it? Yesterday, I think it came across, or was it today? Like
This
early
morning.
this morning, this morning. I think you got to try, and what that costs. Listen, I don't know what he has left on his deal. I'm not too sure what his contract details are left on this current one. And listen, if you're going to sign him, you're probably going to extend him in some way, shape, or form. So that means you're coming out of pocket a little bit more than what you're already giving up. So you're probably going to pay out a little bit more than just the draft pick you give. So he's certainly worth a first, because if you give up a first, you know exactly what you're getting. You're getting an all-pro type of pass rusher, which is what you want with a first-round pick. So if you give up a first-round pick, you're getting an all-pro player in return. No brainer there for me, at least, right? And then if you extend him, you're going to pay him an awful lot of money. But if you can get another 5 to 7 good years out of Myles Garrett, I think that's what you're looking for, right? So I think, you give a first-round pick, maybe a first and a third, maybe a first and a fourth. I think if you start packaging like a first and I think a second, you're going too much. But
really, now Brian, because Khalil Mack, and you played against Khalil Mack.
Yep.
I mean, Khalil Mack, the Bears got him, because they gave away 2 first-round draft picks, or they traded 2 first-round draft picks and also, I believe, a third-round pick as well. You don't think that Myles Garrett is worth 2 first-round draft picks?
That was still on Khalil Mack's first-year deal, though. Khalil Mack was still in his rookie contract with the Raiders at that point in time.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
So that's a different situation than where Myles Garrett currently is right now.
So it's because of age or money that you say that you wouldn't be willing to give up 2 first-round picks?
I would say age right now. I would just say age right now. It's certainly not money, because I think the money, you're going to pay him anyway, because he's that good. I think it's just the age, because you got to look at longevity of how long can he play, and just in general, right? I think he's 28 or 29.
Yeah, 29.
And I think he's 29. So can you get 5 to 7 good years out of him? You look at it, you look at the way the guy's built. I mean, the guy's a freak show. So, you could at least get 5 to 6 years out of him. And what is that value of a first round pick? We've seen in the past, first round picks can be 3 and done, right? So you look at it from that standpoint, and yeah, I mean, it could work out. Now, is 2 worth it? I don't know, right? And that's for GMs to weigh on that scale and how they do those things, right? What's an all-pro player worth? And that's at that age and that salary. I mean, I don't know how they weigh those things out, but I would certainly try to package something together to get a guy like that. I mean, you have to try, because that is a position of need for the Green Bay Packers. And I understand there's salary implications and all that go along with it. But when you insert a guy like that on your defense, suddenly offenses now have to focus on them, and it changes everything on the defense. It changes everything, because now every single play, an offense has to account for one player. They have to account for him. So now they just can't account for McKinney. Okay, so we got to account for McKinney. Or, all right, Rashawn Gary may be the most dangerous pass rusher, but we feel good with him in our one-on-one matchup with this guy. And if we send a running back out there, we know we're good. Now, where is Myles Garrett? We have to send for sure 2 guys out there, maybe 3, and that frees up everything else. Yes, and that frees up everything else.
Give up everything to get him. You didn't do anything but make me more juiced up for him. We got to have him now.
Well, I'm just saying, man, you watch tape on him, and teams do absolutely everything to stop that guy. I mean, he's that good. I watched him go against Rashawn Slater this year, and Rashawn's a really good Pro Bowl left tackle, really good. I played with him in L.A. I mean, he had 2 sacks against Rashawn, and the thing was, Rashawn was in great position. Rashawn had him in a great position, but Myles Garrett just continued to work and work Rashawn back and just got a hold of Herbert. Nothing, it was just wow. That's just all pro type defensive end play. And obviously there's more flashy stuff that he does that's unbelievable, but it's just, the guy is just a freak show, and teams do everything to stop him. So you insert a guy like that, man, the defense looks different. Oof.
Wow, Brian, you got me juiced up here too. I mean, Myles Garrett, you said like that physique get 5 or 7 more years. Chiseled is the word that comes to mind for me. He looks like a Marvel superhero. And honestly, I had questions about how does elite pass rushers strain an offense, all that kind of stuff. You already answered all that for us. So Brian dialed in as always. So for the last minute, we got you. It's Super Bowl week. What's the most vivid memory you have of the week leading up to the Super Bowl? Not the game itself, but the week leading up to the Super Bowl. What's your most vivid memory?
I mean, I think the most vivid memory was how intense the practices were that week in Dallas. I mean, they were probably the most intense practices I ever remember during a game week, and how crisp they were, how mistake-free they were, how fast-paced they were, how physical they were. Everything was just like so focused and intense. And like, I don't ever remember coaches screaming and yelling or repeating plays. Everything was so like perfect. Everything went like as planned, and like the practices were so good, and then watching them on tape, everything was so clean, and that's how I think we all felt so good going into